In this video, I'm going to show you the entire email and SMS system that we use to generate 30 to 50% of our partner brands' total e-commerce revenue. So I'm going to show you the exact tech stack that we use and how to set it up. I'm going to show you optimal list growth techniques. I'm going to show you every single automated flow you'll need, plus our workflow for creating and managing them. I'm going to show you our email and SMS campaign blueprint. I'm going to show you our templates, our universal content, our ChatGPT prompts. I'm also going to show you the deliverability infrastructure that we use to stay out of spam. I'm going to show you our smart segmentation strategy to always send the right message to the right person. I'm going to show you our holistic email marketing strategy. I'm going to show you KPIs to track and also how to plan campaigns. And then finally, I'm going to show you how you can steal all of this from me for free. So who is this video for? This video is for direct-to-consumer brands who want to build out the retention marketing systems. And then finally, who am I? My name is Nolan Butler. I have around 6 years experience in email marketing. The first email campaign that I actually ever sent was in high school and it made $50,000. I moved full-time into e-commerce email marketing over the past year. I co-founded High Camp Partners with my fiance, Shay. You can see Shay on the left there. I graduated magna cum laude from Ithaca College in 2023 with a degree in marketing and wealth management. And then finally, I live in upstate New York. And this is just a picture of Shay and I last year on the peak of one of the Adirondack Mountains. So let's jump into it here. This is the High Camp Peak Retention System. This is what we call it. It's a system that we designed for e-commerce brands to run their email and SMS marketing very effectively. So why did we create this? Because 9 out of 10 e-commerce brands face these three problems. Number one is high customer acquisition costs. Number two is tightening profit margins. And number three is low customer lifetime value. So why do these brands face these problems? Well, number one is the high and rising costs of ads. Number two is just tightening profit margins due to increased cost of goods, services, you name it, shipping. And number three is basically just a lack of retention systems in place. So who are we? Like I said, we're Shay and me, Nolan. We're the co-founders of High Camp Partners. We're basically a Klaviyo partner agency, and we help e-commerce brands run their email marketing. And then what does peak mean? Well, peak means plan, execute, analyze, and Kaizen. And then Kaizen basically just means continuous improvement. So we plan, we execute, we then analyze, and then we continuously improve. So what does this High Camp Peak Retention System kind of consist of here? So at the very top, we basically just have the name, and then we have two things. We have how to set up Shopify, and we have how to set up Klaviyo. And it's important to set those up correctly because there's a couple of things that don't always work seamlessly. So then on the left here, we have tech stack, we have list growth, we have the flows that you'll need, we have campaigns, we have deliverability, segmentation, and then finally we have strategy. So I'm going to start over here on the left with the tech stack, and then we'll jump into actually how to set up the tech stack from there. So the first thing that you're going to need, obviously, is an e-commerce platform. Likely you're using Shopify, you could be using something else. It really doesn't matter. You just need an e-commerce platform. The next thing you're going to need is an ESP, or an email service provider. We use Klaviyo, and we highly recommend that you use Klaviyo as well. It's the go-to direct-to-consumer e-commerce email marketing provider, and they really run the game when it comes to that. If you really want to get fancy, you can use a pop-up app like Alia.learn or a different app that's basically just going to help improve the design and functionality of your pop-up. For design, you're going to want to use either Figma or Canva, depending on your skill level with graphic design. And if you're an actual graphic designer, you know what to use, you have your tools. For copywriting and strategy, you're going to want to use ChatGPT. For deliverability, we use an app called EasyDmark. This is kind of optional. There's a couple of different apps you can use. EasyDmark helps us a ton. For project management, you're going to want to use something like Notion or ClickUp or Trello or one of the other project management tools out there. And then finally, for email testing, you're going to want to use something like Testiat or Litmus. And that's basically just going to allow you to see how your email will appear across different clients, email clients like Gmail, Outlook, and then also in light and dark mode as well. So how do you actually set these platforms up for success? So starting with Shopify and how you set up Shopify, you're going to want to install the add to cart event snippet. Now, what is the add to cart event snippet and why is it important? So there is a difference between, and we'll get into this a little bit later, there's a difference between an add to cart flow or abandonment cart flow and an abandoned checkout flow. The abandoned checkout flow is kind of the flow that people almost refer to as the abandoned cart flow. They kind of mix and mangle those two together. The add to cart is so the add to cart abandonment cart flow will trigger when somebody actually adds something to their cart but doesn't actually reach checkout. And that's how it would properly be set up. And then the abandoned checkout flow will trigger when somebody actually reaches checkout, and then they don't end up checking out. So those are two different things, and you want to track and have messaging for those different things as well. So install the add to cart event snippet. Let's jump into this Klaviyo article and check it out. So you will learn how to manually create an added to cart event for Shopify to track when a customer adds an item to their cart, which you can use to trigger an abandoned cart flow. So there is a note here that Klaviyo now offers like an added to cart event that syncs automatically through Shopify integration when enabled, and it's Shopify branded. I still recommend using the actual this manual added to cart event so you can actually pull in the right dynamic variables. I think it's going to be at a point where this Shopify branded added to cart event will be like the go-to eventually, and if it works for you, then it works for you. But I'm going to show you how to actually install this manual added to cart snippet here. So there's 3 steps to creating the add to cart event. Number 1, choose where to place the code snippet. Number 2, add the snippet to your store. And number 3, test the code snippet. So where should you paste the snippet? So make sure to paste the snippet in both your default product page and in any other product pages you may have. So if your store has a custom liquid blocks, you should use one for the snippet. So in Shopify, navigate to online stores, themes, click customize, and then basically go to your default product page here. So that's pretty simple there, pretty straightforward. And then you're going to click add section in the left sidebar, and you're going to select custom liquid. And then you're going to want to paste the provided snippet in the box. So where is the snippet? So right here is the actual snippet right here. So you're going to add this into the custom liquid, and you're going to want to click save, and then let's see here. So that's basically all you really need to do. You don't have to worry about that. But what you're going to want to do is you're basically just going to want to remove all of the margin that comes with this custom liquid block so that it's not visible on the page at all. So once you have that, you're good to go. The next thing you're going to want to do is enable marketing sign up at checkout, and have that pre-checked. So that's basically when someone's checking out, they're going to say, hey, do you want to receive marketing communications? And then that's already pre-checked for yes. And then you're going to want to integrate third-party apps with Klaviyo. So any third-party apps you're using, maybe for subscription platforms or reviews or anything like that, you're going to want to make sure you have those integrated into Klaviyo. And then finally, ensure that all third-party emails are sending correctly with proper domain network settings or DNS settings, or transfer all the emails to Klaviyo. And I'll talk a little bit more about this when we get into deliverability. But a lot of times you can have things set up properly for Klaviyo, but uh, the some of the other third-party apps that are sending emails on your behalf will end up going to spam, which you don't want. So now let's talk about how to set up Klaviyo. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to want to obviously connect it to Shopify or your ecom store. You're going to want to turn on-site tracking on. Plus, you're also going to want to track behavioral events. What I was referring to earlier with the Shopify branded event for added to cart, this is going to be that basically. Shopify has, or Klaviyo has, an option to track behavioral events from Shopify, and you're basically just going to want to turn that on. It's going to give you more visibility into what's happening on your website, and you're going to be able to track and target a lot more inside of Klaviyo. The next thing you want to do is set up a dedicated sending domain within Klaviyo, and Klaviyo will walk you through this. Build your brand library. It's just going to help you with efficiency later on. Sync Shopify and SMS subscribers to Klaviyo into the right list, basically. And then you're also going to want to ensure that you have single opt-in for all your lists. Single opt-in is basically going to outperform double opt-in every single time. And if you're curious, this is a great article on it. So single opt-in versus double opt-in, the definitive answer to the age-old question. So have you ever wondered what opt-in process is best for your email marketing campaigns? Is it single opt-in or double opt-in? Although the debate between these two processes has been going on for years, there wasn't a definitive answer until now. So this basically breaks it down into the numbers. Like, it goes into a lot of the data, and that's what I really like. So single opt-in, double opt-in are two most commonly used methods for obtaining consent from your subscribers. Single opt-in is a straightforward and simple process consisting of only one step. A user subscribes to your email list by providing their email address through a sign-up form on your website, blog, or social media platform. Once the user submits their email address, they're immediately added to your mailing list, ready to be used in your email marketing campaigns. The double opt-in process, on the other hand, involves two steps. So just like in the single opt-in process, the user submits their email address through a sign-up form. However, before they're added to your mailing list, they receive a confirmation email with a link or a button that they need to actually go in and click to verify their subscription. So you can see here it's pretty simple. Single opt-in, visitor submits their email, automatically entered into the list. Double opt-in is, someone submits their email, and then they actually have to get this other email containing an opt-in link, which they have to then click to confirm. And if they don't click, they're basically just not added to the marketing list. So there's a hypothesis. So let's see here. So the final answer. So now that we know that double opt-in won't necessarily lower your unsubscribe and complaint rates, it all comes down to this. Is the increased subscriber engagement worth the lower subscription rates? So let's see here. So we're all after the clickers, subscribers who open your emails and click on your links. These are the people who convert into paying customers. In order for a person to become a clicker, they need to visit your website or subscription form, successfully subscribe to your email list, open your newsletter, click on a CTA. So from our research, the average subscription rate of a single opt-in form is 1.28, and the subscription rate of a double opt-in form is 0.33%. So that's a drastic difference there. So visitor to subscriber conversion rate, 1.28 for single opt-in, 0.33 for double opt-in. Newsletter open rate, 27.36, so a little bit lower, but that's kind of typical. Newsletter click-through rate, also a little bit lower. So should you use single opt-in or double opt-in? Let's look at the numbers. So let's look at the number of visitors here. So let's say you have 1 million visitors, and then this is the amount of subscribers that you're going to get from based off of this number right here. If you use single opt-in, you're going to get 12,800 subscribers. If you use double opt-in, you're going to get 3,300. If you keep in mind that each subscriber is probably worth $10 to $50 in terms of lifetime value, this is a drastic number right here in terms of like the difference. Average number of people opening a newsletter, so 3,502. So even though it's like a lower percentage, you're going to get a much higher number here just because it's a higher number of subscribers. And then average number of people clicking on a link, so it's almost double there. So there you have it. Single opt-in outperforms double opt-in in every possible regard. According to our research, single opt-in will grow your email list faster, get more impressions on your emails, and you can convert more subscribers into paying customers. So that's basically my argument there for why single opt-in over double opt-in. And then finally, and this is kind of an optional step, is you can integrate with ad platforms for, basically retargeting there. So now that we have Shopify and Klaviyo set up, let's take a look at list growth here. So list growth really comes down to two things. It comes down to having good sign-up forms or pop-ups, and it also comes down to having post-purchase sign-up in place there. So there's really two ways you can go about having sign-up forms. You can either use the Klaviyo sign-up forms, the built-in Klaviyo sign-up forms, and I'll show you some examples that I've created that are really high performing and based off of really high performing pop-ups that we basically just templates that we've created inside of Klaviyo. Or you could go a little bit more advanced and you could use an app like Elliot.learn. There's a bunch of different apps for pop-ups. They're just going to help with basically design, and then also functionality. It just gives you more options for what you can do with your pop-up. So the first kind of pop-up that you're going to want to have in place, and this is like the go-to pop-up. So if you had to choose between entrance and exit intent, you're going to want to choose entrance intent pop-up. So basically when someone lands on your site, there's going to be a 5 to 10 second delay before this pop-up basically just shows up on the screen. We like to stick to this 5 to 10 second delay to not be super annoying, but also get that email address. So it's going to pop up. It's going to have a solid offer, and it's going to capture the subscriber's email address at a minimum. And if you have a really good pop-up, you can capture the email address and SMS phone number as well. The second type of pop-up is exit intent. So this happens when someone shows intent that they're going to exit the web page. Now you can use these, but you're going to want to use these strategically. Basically, you're not going to want to have an exit intent pop-up being used as a crutch for a poor designed website. So if you have a poor designed website and lots of people are leaving your page, you're not going to want to annoy them even more by throwing a exit intent pop-up in their face. It's just going to almost cause the opposite of goodwill with your customers there. So if you're going to use those, also have a solid offer and just use them strategically. Make sure there's like a gap between when this is shown and when this is shown. So then the next thing you're going to want to have is, like we talked about a little bit earlier, is post-purchase sign-up enabled and pre-checked. So that's basically just going to capture people that are purchasing and throw them on your email and SMS list as well. And you're also going to want to make sure that you have automated flows set up and ready to go when someone signs up. If someone signs up from the pop-up, you're going to want to make sure that they are entered into the welcome flow immediately and immediately get that welcome email. If someone is signing up post-purchase, you're just going to want to make sure that they're entering your, post-purchase nurture flow as well. And then in terms of how to basically optimize and when to optimize your pop-ups, you're going to want to A/B test this on a bi-weekly basis. Now, there's a couple of things that you can A/B test. You can A/B test the offer. You can A/B test basically the design of the pop-up. You can A/B test the copy, and you can also A/B test the timing or when it shows up. Now, the strongest lever that you can pull on in terms of A/B testing is the offer. So let's say 15% off versus 20% off, or something like that. Now you're going to want to keep in mind your margins and how much money you're actually making in profit after, because you might get a higher take rate on the 20%, but you actually might make more money with the 15%. So that's something that you need to look at strategically, but the offer is going to be the number one thing that you can test there. So now let's jump into my Klaviyo account and let me show you some of the templates that we have for sign up forms or pop-ups basically. So we have 5 templates that we use right now for basically our clients and just to have in kind of the arsenal here. So right here is this first one is a 2-step sign up form. Let's check it out. So we created a fictional brand called High Camp. It's basically like a fictional outdoor brand. And what we did was we made a bunch of different templates, flows around this brand that you can customize very easily. So this is a 2-step opt-in form here. So this sign up form basically consists of a teaser, which I'll show you right here. It's this would pop up in basically the bottom left right now of your website. It has a kind of a little bit of a border there, claim 15% off, and then you can close it out. Now you can have a teaser, and if you want, you also can just basically get rid of this and not have it on your website at all. It really just depends on your preference. The second step in this pop-up form is the email opt-in. So basically, you are always going to want to have your logo here. Then just basically like a simple offer here if you're going to do a 2-step opt-in. Enter the email, claim 15% off or not interested. This is basically just going to close the form and just send them right to the website. Now this right here is a full page pop-up design. There's a couple of different designs that I'll show you in the different templates, but you can close it out here. And that's the email opt-in. It's very simple. And now let's check the SMS opt-in. So when someone puts their email in, clicks claim 50% off, then you're going to want to move them on to this SMS opt-in part here. So again, logo, and then you're going to want to say something like finish signing up, or basically something that makes them think that they don't have their offer yet, and they still need to finish signing up for text to activate their actual 15% off. So they're going to have phone number. Make sure you have the terms and conditions here, phone number, and then activate 15% off. And it's just using words like activate that will get people to actually subscribe to the SMS as well. And then success page. So it's going to go teaser, if you have that, email opt-in page, SMS opt-in, and then success page here. So this is where you get you can grab your coupon code below and gear up for your next adventure. Basically, it's just saying, hey, here, use this code, welcome 15. Now, there's a couple things you can do here. You can have a generic code like welcome 15, or you can have something a little bit more personalized looking. It could just be like a random grouping of numbers that's going to look like this was meant for me. That's also something you can just A/B test there to see what's going to have basically a driven sales increase over the other one. So this is a 2-step sign up form. There's nothing really special about this. It's going to throw right in your face to, hey, sign up for our emails, sign up for our SMS. There's nothing really crazy about that. I'll show you a couple of different things that we can test here, or basically do with the pop-ups. So let's check this out. So the next one we have is a free gift offer. So let's check this one out. Again, we have a teaser here if you want, claim free keychain. And then here we're starting with a quiz here. So again, we have the logo at the top, no side image this time. So basically it's just a center fed pop-up here, still full page. You can see you can exit out there. But here we go. So this is what's going to pop up. It's going to say, hey, you've got basically a free gift, or in my case here, you've got a free keychain. So to claim, let us know, who are you shopping for today? So this is just an example of a quiz here that you can use. So myself or someone else. When someone says, who they're shopping for, they're going to be taken to this page with where you can enter your email. So you've got a free keychain, enter your email address, claim it, and then a little bit of social proof here, trusted by 250,000 adventurers worldwide. You could take any number from your business and put it there. And then after they sign up for that, it's going to be, again, the finish signing up to activate your offer, plus get VIP access to our best deals. Just another reason to sign up with the SMS here. So activate free keychain, and then you're going to have this success page there. So relatively the same there. Now, what I've seen work quite a bit is this mystery discount option here. So this is not a full page pop-up anymore, full page sign-up form. It's basically just this small box. It's going to work really well on mobile here. And what it consists of, again, is logo, unlock mystery discount. But first, you need to basically just tell us what you're most interested in. Now, this is the quiz. Again, we have a teaser here, get mystery discount. So clothing, backpacks, accessories, or no thanks. This is another button. It's just going to close out the pop-up. So email opt-in, unlock mystery discount. To claim, tell us what you're most interested about, and then they can enter their email and claim discount. After that, it moves on to the SMS opt-in. So again, activate discount, finish signing up, same type of deal there. So you're in, claim your mystery discount below. And so what this is going to do, it's probably going to get a lot of people to add stuff to cart just to see what this mystery discount consists of, because they don't really know. There's no number here or anything like that. So it's going to get a lot of people to add stuff to cart to basically just see how much they can get off their order. The next thing that we have here is a multi-step form, multi-step sign-up form here. And so this basically just consists of a teaser here, claim $25 off, basically a full page pop-up once again. Now, I'm a fan of the full page pop-ups, only if they work on mobile really well, but I'm a fan of the full page pop-ups. It really captures the attention of the visitor on your website, and they tend to convert really well. I mean, that's something that we've A/B tested with our clients, and it has had a drastic impact on a lot of the metrics. So again, logo, you've got $25 off. So this is something you can test as well. $25 off versus 25% off. And it really depends on your margins there and how much you can afford to let people take off of their orders. To claim, let us know, what does adventure mean to you? So another quiz there. Second step is just super simple. You've got $25 off. Enter your email to get it, and then finish signing up. And then you could likely use like activate your 25% off here again. So, and then basically there you go. You got your, you have your success page there as well. And then this is just a different multi-step sign up form here that we have. So it's just a % off this time. So again, we have the teaser there. And then we have like a preference quiz type question, logo, big image on the side there that matches the brand. And then you've got 15% off. To claim, let us know, how far are you willing to push your limit? So basically just another quiz question. They get taken to this, you enter your email address, and then you can add some social proof right here as well. So 6,853,250 plus happy customers. That's going to help with the opt-in rate here. After that, you can then move on to the activate 50% off by entering your SMS. Same type of deal there. And then the success page. So copy one of these. They are very high. They have very high opt-in rates, and these are basically just built based on best practices and what's happening that in the biggest brands in the world right now. So that was the sign up forms and pop-ups. Now we can move on to talking about the automated flows here. So there's really 4 types of automated flows that exist. We have our foundational automated flows, which we'll get into it, but it's basically going to be things like your welcome flow, abandoned checkout, abandoned cart, things like that. We have transactional flows, and these are things that are going to be behavioral triggered, and likely you're going to be sending these emails through something like Shopify and maybe not even Klaviyo. These are going to be things like your thank you email after someone purchases with tracking information and things like that. Now that's something you can move to Klaviyo if you really want to consolidate everything and have some more design control over it. But Shopify has really good emails as well, and they have really good deliverability. Uh, the next thing that I call is advanced flows. So these are going to be things that are a little bit more custom to your brand, in terms of they're not kind of like a one size fits all approach to the flows and the triggers and everything. So finally, you're going to have your seasonal flows here, and these are going to be things like Black Friday, Cyber Monday flows and things like that, but we'll get into it. So after that, you really have two different types of flows. So you can send email flows, and you can also send SMS flows. And I like to basically keep these separate so you can optimize, track the analytics correctly and everything like that. So on the email side here, I've kind of broken it up into awareness and consideration, post-purchase, purchase plus post-purchase plus retention, and then also churn prevention plus churn as well. So on the email side here, we have things like a welcome flow. So this is going to be something that sends out immediately after someone signs up for your pop-up, for example. You have site abandonment, which is basically the lowest level of interest that a customer can show. They go on your site, and you have their information already from them signing up. So they go on your site, but they leave, and they don't really see a product or anything like that. So this is something you can send them a follow-up with. So site abandonment flow. The next thing we have is a browse abandonment flow. So let's say someone goes on your site, they actually click onto a product or a collection or something like that, and they actually browse a product. So this is another flow that you can send. You can use dynamic content here to show them what they were looking at, and basically get them to come back and purchase. So the next one, which we talked about a little bit differentiation between these two, is the cart abandonment. So when someone adds something to cart, but they don't actually go to checkout, they can be sent a cart abandonment flow to basically recoup that purchase. The next thing that you can send them is a checkout abandonment flow, and again, that's kind of uh, the highest lever of buying intention that a customer can show is adding something to checkout, but not actually checking out. So next thing you're going to want to have in place is a post-purchase nurture flow, and this is going to be right after someone places an order, and you can we'll get into a little bit more, but you can basically personalize based on what number order it is. If it's their first order, you send them these emails. If it's their second order, you send them different emails, and so on, basically. And then moving on to the churn prevention and churn. So churn prevention here is the win-back flows. So you're going to want to send two different win-back flows. So a purchase win-back flow is when somebody places an order but then doesn't place an order for X amount of time, typically 2.5 times the buying cycle. So if someone places an order, they haven't placed an order in a while, they'll be sent through this win-back flow. Basically just trying to get them to buy again with a discount if you want to, or just content and a reminder. The next thing you can set up is a prospect win-back flow. So this is going to be something that when someone signs up for your email list, but they never actually purchase, and then let's say they don't purchase for a while, you can send them this prospect win-back flow to basically just re-engage some people and get some people to buy. The next thing that you're going to want to set up is a sunset flow, basically just to clean your email list on a regular basis. So what this is going to do is you send out this sunset flow to people who have not engaged with your emails in a certain amount of time. So what it's going to do is it's going to be very similar to the win-back flow in that it's going to basically try to recapture and re-engage customers. But if it doesn't, they can be automatically tagged for suppression. basically. And that's just going to keep your email list clean. Make sure you're always sending to engaged users, and keep your deliverability high. So the next thing you're going to want to do is set up these core foundational SMS flows. So a welcome flow for when somebody signs up with their SMS, a cart abandonment, checkout abandonment, post-purchase flow, and then a purchase winback flow. So you're going to want to basically just make sure that these are all in congruence with each other and there's not different offers in different flows. So we touched on the transactional flows a little bit, the behavioral trigger. Like I said, you can either keep these inside of Shopify, or you can move them to Klaviyo if you really want to get fancy and advanced with it. So now let's talk about the advanced flows here. So I've grouped email and SMS here just because they're really interchangeable. If you wanted to have an SMS flow, you can have an SMS flow here for these. If you wanted to have an email flow, you can have an email flow. So what advanced flows are there? So the first one is this review slash UGC, or user generated content flow, that you can set up. Now, this is kind of custom to each brand because it depends on when your shipping times are. If your shipping times are 2 days, then you can send a review flow 7 days after the order. If your shipping time is 3 or 4 weeks or longer, then you're going to want to have a different time frame for sending that review. You don't want somebody that hasn't received the product yet to get a review notification and then leave you a bad review because the product's not there yet. The next thing, if you have like a coffee or supplement brand or something that replenishes on a recurring basis, you can set up a replenishment reminder flow. And so I've seen this with like eyeglasses companies or contacts companies or something like that, where it's like, hey, your contacts are likely getting like foggy. It's probably time to like basically re-up and get another set of contacts. We've done this for coffee brands, supplement brands, and it's a huge revenue driver, especially if you position the wording correctly there. Another thing is a VIP or loyalty flow. So you could set up a VIP flow for people that have maybe purchased 4 or more times, and that's kind of the typical timing slash segmentation for this flow here. But again, that's really just custom based on what you prefer in your brand and what your preferences are for setting VIP limits. It could be a dollar amount, and then also like loyalty flows. If you have a loyalty program, then you can create different loyalty flows for your loyalty program. And again, that's just basically custom because loyalty program is a different app. You can have upsell, cross-sell flows if you prefer, or you can kind of just mix them into the post-purchase nurture. A 1-hour rescue flow. So this one's a really interesting flow. This flow is when somebody clicks on one of your emails but they don't purchase, you can send them a quick email, text-based email with an offer around an hour later. And this is going to basically capture high intent or high buyer intent visitors who may have been on the cusp of purchasing, but they just never pulled the trigger. And so it's just going to be a 1-hour try and rescue that sale flow. Then you have birthday flows, price drop flows. So that's automatically going to send an email when the price drops on a product that someone has viewed recently or added to cart or added to checkout. Back in stock flows, pretty self-explanatory. And then any third-party app flows. I mean, like I said, you could have app flows for your subscription app, for your loyalty program. There's a lot you can do there, and those are all super custom based on your brand. So let's talk about the last thing here, which is seasonal flows. So email and SMS, again, grouped into these because it could be, it's based on your preferences within your brand. But the big one here is you're just going to want to have a Black Friday, Cyber Monday flow. So you're going to want to pause your more generic flows, and you're going to want to basically revamp your entire website, whether that's the the landing page, the home page to show your Black Friday Cyber Monday offer. Your pop-up should be in congruence with your Black Friday Cyber Monday offer. And your flows should also be in congruence with your Black Friday Cyber Monday offer. So these are going to have specific wording around your offer for Black Friday Cyber Monday. They're going to have a little bit more, they're going to have a little bit higher frequency and urgency in these emails as well. And like I said, you're going to pause your more generic flows during this time period. And this, just having a custom Black Friday Cyber Monday flow is going to just improve the consistency and messaging from your brand, and it's going to do very well as well. You can do the same thing for major holidays and also major sales events. Okay, so what actually goes into the workflow behind creating these flows? So the first thing that you're going to want to have is your flow triggers set up. And so these are things that you set up when you set up the flow. These are things like active on site, added to cart, abandoned checkout, signed up for your pop-up, anything like that. Then you're going to want to have trigger and profile filters set up. And these are basically just going to filter out anybody that should not be in that flow. So you can add things in here like if it's let's say it's an added to cart flow, you can add in here that so that someone should not have been in this flow within the last 30 days. And that just makes sure that people aren't getting a ton of emails and they're not getting super annoyed from you. If it's a welcome flow, you can have, someone hasn't placed an order over all time because you don't want your welcome flow and your post-purchase flow to be overlapping basically. So there's a lot you can do there, and you just want to have you make sure you have the right profile and trigger filter set up, and I'll show you all of our flow templates in a second here. So the next thing you're going to want to have is time delays that are built in there. You're going to have actions, which is basically your email and SMS, and you can have like API connections if you want to, and then you're also going to want to have conditional logic if you're going to do anything basically product specific, or if you want to do A/B tests on timing and stuff like that. And then basically you're going to want to optimize these flows bi-weekly. And so again, there's different things that you can test. You can test your offer in the emails. You can test the design, the content, the copywriting, and then you can also test the timing and the time delays. So before we jump into basically the campaigns here, I'm gonna walk you through our automated flows that we have set up that we use for our clients in our agency here. So we'll filter by high camp tags here, and I'm gonna walk you through these. It might take a little bit of time, but I'm gonna walk you through each and every one of these flows that we have. These all look familiar: added to cart, add abandoned checkout, browse abandonment, prospect, purchase winback, site abandonment, sunset flow, rescue flow, welcome series, post-purchase nurture, SMS abandoned cart, SMS abandoned checkout, SMS purchase winback, and SMS welcome series. So let's jump in here to this first one, the abandoned cart flow. So like I said, here is your trigger at the top. You have so profiles enter this flow when this happens. So our added to cart metric is the trigger here. So when someone adds to cart, they get automatically entered into this flow. So trigger filters, there's no trigger filters for this one. Profile filters though, you want to make sure that placed order is 0 times since starting this flow and has not been in the flow in the last 30 days, and person can receive email marketing because person subscribed. So the next thing you're going to want to do is have a 35-minute time delay. Now this can be anything between 30 minutes and 1 hour, depending on how aggressive you want to be. And this first email here is going to basically just be a quick reminder. So I'll show you kind of the ins and outs here of the email. So subject line, did you basically just forget something? Question mark, super simple. Your gear is still in your cart, ready when you are. So let's take a quick look at this preview of this email here. So this is the email that we have, and I'll show you with dynamic content. So it might not actually pull in the dynamic content for this because it's linked to a demo account. But here's what it's going to look like. Header, image, hold on, your gear is still here, complete my order, and then looks like you left us behind. So this is where it's going to pull in the product that they actually left behind. Big button, and then a little bit of reassurance of why you should go with us in the first place. So why high camp, and then just a little bit of design, a little bit of social proof here with the testimonial count, uh, another button, and then a pretty cool footer here. So, and then basically you just want to make sure you have your unsubscribe links down there, manage preferences, contact information, and you'll be all compliant there. So that's the first one, basically just a simple reminder. Now I'm going to try and kind of flow through the rest of these here. So wait 1 day. And then number 2 is going to be kind of like another nudge. It's going to be an email that's going to try and remove the risk here. So we'll preview email. So still searching, we found what you're looking for, complete my order. And basically above this button is going to be the dynamic content. And then here's a testimonial section. So on the fence, here's what real adventures have to say. So a testimonial, 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 and this is kind of a zigzag pattern here. And then again, some more social proof there, and then the footer. So then you're going to want to wait 1 day, and then you're actually going to want to have a conditional split based off of what product that they actually abandoned cart on. And then you're going to want to message and send really specific messaging towards the exact product. Now you can do this for products. You can also do this for collections. If you have, like, let's say you had 100 products, you don't want to do this for each product because that would just take a ton of time. You could do it for your, say, like 5 collections instead. So here's what it looks like if you do that. So again, it's going to wait 1 day, conditional split, and then have your first product here. And so we'll take a look at this. So we'll basically pull it up here. Now we created this fake brand, right? And so we basically just created this fake product as well, the Storm Shell jacket. So you're going to want to have a picture of the actual product, the name, the exact reviews that are on the actual product, the only jacket you'll ever need for the outdoors, again, dynamic product, and then just some product specific information here. So why Storm Shell, and then you're going to want to show basically some features and benefits here, and then you have your footer. So after that, you're going to want to show some product specific reviews here. So we'll jump into that. So again, let's go back. We don't want to mess around with that. So another picture here of the jacket, and then a big testimonial there. And then you're also going to want to have just basically product specific testimonials and a footer there. And let's see. So you wait 1 day between those, and then you can basically just group everything again, wait 2 days. Like I said, you're going to do this for as many products as you want. So right here we have product 2, same time delays and everything. It's just going to be the different product. Then you're going to wait 2 days, and you're going to have this email. It's like a last chance, like your cart is leaving. A last chance to grab your gear before it's gone. So we'll take a preview of this. So your adventure won't wait, neither will your gear. Looks like you left us behind. Again, it's going to pull in a dynamic section right above there. We hate to say it, but your cart won't stick around forever. Again, just why high camp. A little bit more urgency there. And then you're going to wait 3 days, and you're going to do a conditional split based on, has someone placed order overall time before. If they have placed an order, then they're just going to go to this side, and it's just going to be an everything okay text-based email from the founder. So we'll take a preview of this, and we have ChatGPT prompts and everything down here. All right, my computer cut out, so I'm going to start over a little bit here. So after the last chance email, you're going to wait 3 days, and then you're going to do a conditional split based off of has someone purchased before, basically. If they have purchased before, they're going to get this everything okay email. And so this is going to be basically a text-based email from the founder, and it's going to say, basically, hey, I wanted to reach out. Noticed you left some gear behind. No pressure at all. If you have any questions, just let me know. Hit reply. And then you can also throw in like a dynamic cart link there, so return to cart. Let's say they have never purchased before, and they're basically still a prospect. You can send them through this discount intro, discount closeout, and then everything okay. So flash discount, 50% off today only. So we can preview email here. So basically it's just gonna be like, hey, get an exclusive offer, get 15% off your first order, use code first15, complete my order, and then it's gonna pull the dynamic content in above this button right here. And then get 15% off, use code first15, complete my order, and it's just gonna be basically like a discount flash introduction there. So after that, you're gonna wait 1 day, and you're gonna do a discount last chance. So in this one, you're going to want to say, basically like for 24 hours only. And then in this one, it's going to be sent 1 day later, and it's going to be very similar. It's just going to be a closeout of the first one there. So final hours, 15% off ends tonight, expires midnight tonight. Again, dynamic content right there, and then a similar everything okay email from the founder there. So you can see here for this one, it's, hey, I'm Nolan. It's more of an introduction. Wanted to personally check in, make sure everything was okay with your order. It looks like you added some, but didn't add something to your cart, but didn't complete your purchase. Use code first15 at checkout before it's gone. So basically, it's just like I've gone ahead, extended your 15% discount for 24 more hours. There. Cool, cool. So now let's talk about the abandoned checkout. So the abandoned checkout is going to be basically a carbon copy of the exact same thing with the abandoned cart. So the only difference here is just checkout started is the trigger. Same profile filters, so placed order 0 times, has not been in flow in the last 30 days, and person can receive email marketing because person subscribed. Again, you're basically just going to wait 35 minutes here, or whatever, up to an hour if you want. Reminder email, nudge, basically 1 day, split based on what product they've purchased, product benefits, product testimonials, last chance, and then another conditional split with the same exact stuff there. So abandoned cart, very, very, very straightforward. So now let's talk about browse abandonment. So again, browse abandonment is going to be when someone views a product. So you can set that as the trigger. So metric viewed product. The profile filters here are going to be checkout started 0 times since starting this flow, placed order 0 times since starting this flow, and then it has not been in flow in the last 30 days. And you could also add in here, added to cart 0 times since starting this flow as well, since you don't want basically someone to be viewing the browse abandonment and add it to cart or checkout started flow at the same time. So what's going to be in this browse abandonment one? So you can still pull in dynamic content in the browse abandonment flow. So it's still going to be a little bit something you can customize and personalize a little bit. But what you're going to want to do is wait 2 to 4 hours. Send basically just a simple reminder email here, first of all. And this is going to be, very similar to that abandoned checkout, abandoned cart reminder. So image or GIF, and then basically the perfect gear for your next adventure, shop now, and it's going to pull in that dynamic content right above this. And again, just kind of like a featured dump for, why they should go with your brand. Then footer, everything good to go. After that, you're going to want to wait 1 day, do a risk reversal email. So leave the risk to your adventures, hassle-free, returns, durable gear, trusted by adventurers. So let's check this one out. And this is just going to want to, basically relieve any risks or anything like that that's associated with the purchase and just make the customer feel really good about their purchase. So header, GIF, gear you can trust guaranteed, no risk, no worries, just adventure, ready gear, built to last. So dynamic content. And then this is going to be like a shop with confidence section here. So, what are your guarantees that you have that you can provide them? So lifetime durability guarantee, hassle-free returns, fast shipping, all things that will increase the likelihood that someone wants to check out. After that, wait 2 days, and you're going to send a testimonial email here. So let's check this one out. So trusted by explorers, built for adventure. Here's what you left off, and it's just dynamic content I get there. And then here are the testimonial sections right there, and then some more social proof as well. After that, you're going to want to wait 3 days, and you're going to do that same conditional split based off of if someone has purchased overall time before or not. And then you're going to send them that everything okay text-based email from the founder if they have purchased before. And then you can also do kind of like a discount introduction, everything okay email from the founder again. So discount intro, a little something to get you started. And then depending on kind of how aggressive you want to be, you could do a discount closeout email there as well. And you're also going to want to have, some sort of time delay here. Likely you'll want to do 48 hours or 2 days. So we'll set that up. So that is the browse abandonment flow. So now let's check out the site abandonment flow. It would be kind of the next in the list there. So again, this is basically your lowest level of intention for buying. The trigger here is active on site. And so the profile filters here are, you're going to want to basically exclude any other action other than just active on site so that nobody is receiving multiple emails when they shouldn't. So viewed products 0 times since starting this flow, added to cart 0 times since starting this flow, checkout started 0 times, placed orders 0 times since starting this flow, has not been in flow in 45 days, and person can receive email marketing because person's subscribed. So this one's going to be a little bit less personalized because you can't really use like dynamic content here as much as you can with like browse, abandon cart, abandon checkout. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wait 1 day, and then you're going to want to do something like, hey, thanks for stopping by. We noticed you were on the website, but didn't really do anything. Here's kind of just a nudge to take a little bit of action. So thanks for stopping by. We saw you stop by High Camp, but didn't stick around too long. Totally get it. Life's busy, but since you're here, we figured you might love what we're building. So you basically can show like your definite features or benefits here in kind of any kind of way you want to. Right now, we have this just built out in like a single stack section here, repeating section. And this will look really good on mobile as well. So benefit, a little bit of social proof, description, shop now, field tested quality, another like, basically it's kind of like a benefit slash feature here, sustainability, anything you can really pull on to basically just describe your brand and get people to just basically understand your brand a little bit more, anything like that, and basically just nudge them back to the website, see if they can, you can get them to add to cart, add to checkout, anything like that. So then you're going to want to wait 1 day and then send them a, are you still curious email, basically. So we'll preview this one. So still curious, still searching for the right adventure gear. We've got some favorites you might love. And so basically you're just going to want to show them your best sellers here. So Storm Shell Jacket, Trail Flex Pack, Summit Fleece. So this is basically just a best sellers product dump there. Then you're going to want to wait 2 days, and you can say like, hey, best for last. Before you go, here's what you might be like missing out on. And so this is going to be like more like, hey, what you're missing out on in this community. Things like that. So we saved the best for last. Before you go, I wanted to share something special. At High Camp, we believe the best gear isn't just about performance. It's about being part of a community that lives for adventure. So kind of explain basically just describe your target audience in this and say that, hey, like you could be a part of this as well. And then if you really want to get aggressive with the site abandonment, you could do the wait 3 days and then conditional split based on if someone has purchased before or not. And this is going to be like, hey, if someone has purchased, you can send them through this everything okay text-based email from the founders flow. If they haven't purchased, you can do like a discount introduction, again, wait 2 days, and then is everything okay again. A little bit different messaging there. So that was the site abandonment, browse abandonment, abandoned cart, and abandoned checkout. So now if we're kind of thinking to go, I guess we missed out because the welcome series would be a little bit right before all this. So let's jump into the welcome series and then we'll touch on kind of like what happens after the purchase. So HP email welcome series right here. So welcome series. So trigger when someone is basically just added to your email list here. And then profile filters, placed order 0 times since starting this flow. Again, you don't want any overlap with this flow and like the post-purchase nurture flow. And then profile filters, person can receive email marketing because person subscribed there. So what I like to do is I like to create a profile property update. So basically just create in welcome flow as your profile property. And then you can create a segment based on people that are in the welcome flow right now. And you could basically exclude them if you wanted to from campaigns. And this is kind of something, it's a little bit of a tactic you can do if you basically want them to complete the welcome series before they receive any campaigns and get like kind of annoyed or like don't understand kind of where this campaign came from. And a lot of times your welcome series is kind of, it takes them through like a brand education and introduction. And so you really want people to go through the full brand education introduction before they get any campaigns or anything like that are too salesy or anything like that. So then we have the welcome message here. So immediately going out, there's no time delay between when someone's added to the list and when they get this email. So welcome to High Camp. Let's take a look at this right here. So adventure is calling, you ready? A little bit of like a GIF or something. And then you're in, basically like show them the code that they're going to get. And this is going to be the same code that you're going to use in your pop-up. Just for congruence, consistency, again, consistent messaging across the board, consistent experience across the board. So, basically like why High Camp. And then you're going to want to showcase like maybe 1 or 2 bestsellers as well in this email. So another tactic you can use here is have they opened the email. So basically, have they opened, well, someone has or has not done, have they opened your welcome email at least once since starting this flow? And if the answer is yes, then you just basically send them to the next step. But if the answer is no, you want to wait like 12 to 24 hours and resend that exact same message right here with just a different subject line. And what this is going to do is it's just going to create a new email and bump it to the top of their list of basically just bump it to the top of their inbox, I'm at. So exact same email. And if this is kind of just like if you really want to be like aggressive and get people to open that welcome message, because this first welcome message is going to be a huge revenue driver for your brand. And so if you can get a little bit more people to open it, that's great. It's amazing. But basically what you're going to do after that is you're just going to wait 1 day. And I have it set right here to send at 11 a.m. That's something you can play around with A/B test if you want. This is just what's worked for us really well. And the reason you want to send like this at 11 a.m. is because, or at least during business hours, is because the second email is a personal note from the founder. And so you don't want this sending at like 3 in the morning or something like that. You want to have it be a little bit more believable that, hey, maybe like this person did just reach out to me during their workday. And so here we go. Preview this. So basically, hey, name, we're Shay and Nolan, the founders of High Camp. If you're reading this, it means you're part of our growing community of adventures, blah, blah, blah. We started a brand because story. So we built High Camp, our mission, blah, blah, blah. And then just a CTA for the welcome code again. So shop now. And then you can throw some PS statements in there as well. So PS statements are going to be another thing that people read very heavily. So PS statements are really, really powerful. So you're going to want to do that. Personal note from the founder. Then you're going to want to wait 2 days. Again, this one sends at 9 a.m. And this one is going to basically just be a unique selling props USP email. And so let's check this one out. So again, same type of header here. You can obviously customize all these emails based on what you want to do. I did this just for efficiency's sake. But basically, you're not just looking for gear, you're looking for gear that keeps up. So just a brand differentiator, what makes us different, um, and then just what are your USPs. So you can list 3 to 4 unique selling positions or props right here, call to action, and again, a bestseller kind of call out there. After that, has opened emails 0 times since starting this flow. If they haven't opened any email since starting this flow, you can basically just create a profile. You basically can just let them exit the flow. If they haven't opened 3 to 4 emails at this point, then it's going to hurt your deliverability to keep sending them emails because they could basically mark you as spam. They have a higher chance of marking you as spam. They have a higher chance of soft bouncing or hard bouncing. Maybe their email that they put in is just not real. And so if they haven't opened 3 or 4 emails, you can just basically send them out of the flow. You can mark their profile property update as exited welcome flow so that you can send them campaigns and stuff. I just don't have that set up because I don't have any data for that. But let's say if they have open emails, you're going to be good to go. They're going to keep on continuing on here. Wait 2 days, and then you're going to send basically like us versus them email. So let's take a look at this one here. So when it comes to outdoor gear, you have some options, but not all gear is built the same. So other brands, them, and then basically just saying like what's wrong with other brands and why we're different. So High Camp, built with premium adventure tested materials that last years, not seasons. Direct to you pricing, whatever. And then again, you can throw like your bestseller in there as well. And so then you can wait 3 days, and then a social proof email always works really well. So let's take a look at this one. So here we go, call to action at the top there. We get it. Investing in quality gear is a big decision. Here's what real adventurers have to say, basically. So testimonial, testimonial, testimonial. And then you can also put like any features that you have in different publications or magazines or anything like that to basically just increase your social proof a ton there. And then a call to action section at the bottom there just to shop now, use the code. So now what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wait 2 more days. And I just have right here, it's going to send on every day but Saturday. And that's just something, once again, that's just worked for us that we've tested in our brands. And that's something that you can test as well based on your brand. And this is just going to be like a last chance. Hey, your discount code's like expiring type of email. So basically just use code welcome10 before midnight tonight. Like it's going to expire. It just can be a short and sweet email right there. After that, wait 4 days. And then again, during business hours, because this is going to be a text-based email saying like, hey, is everything okay from the founder? And so this is going to be, let's check this out. So hey name, basically we noticed you haven't used your 10% off welcome code yet. Just want to check in, like, is everything okay? If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And then basically just another call to action on the welcome code, just kind of reigniting it there. And then that's pretty much it. So a 7 email welcome series, you can add up to basically like whatever you want. And then you're going to want to, before they exit, you're going to want to remove that. You can basically just say like delete existing property, and then you can find the property in there that says in welcome flow. And so you're not excluding them from campaigns or anything after that. So there we go. There was the welcome flow. So now we can talk a little bit about, let's say someone purchases and they're entered into your post-purchase nurture flow. So this post-purchase nurture flow is, one that we're really proud of. It's pretty advanced, and it's something that we've, basically iterated on for a long time to come up with something like really, really good. So trigger, someone placed order. It's a Shopify metric. And the only profile filters you really need here are person can receive email marketing because person subscribed. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to do a conditional split based off of the number of purchases that someone has done. So conditional split, first time purchase, yes, and then they're going to receive this first time customer thank you. If it's their second purchase, they'll get this second time customer thank you. Third purchase and fourth purchase, and you could really cut it off anywhere. It depends on like what your VIP kind of status or quota or filter is for your VIPs. I have built out till the fourth time customer purchase. And so let's take a look at the first time customer. So basically, again, no delay here between when the basically the metric is triggered and when the email is sent out. So this is just going to be a text-based email from the founder, just saying like, hey, just want to take a moment. Personally, thank you for your order. Another like, it's just going to reinforce why they purchased. It's going to just take away any like last, reservations that they had about it and make them feel really excited and like, happy that with their purchase and what they did. So what we like to do on the first purchase as well is we'll say like PPS, we'll have our customer success specialist reach out later today. If you need anything, just like let me or him know. We're happy to help. And so what you can do now is wait like 15 minutes. This is for the first time order only. And so wait 15 minutes, conditional split based off of if someone can receive SMS marketing or not. If they can receive SMS marketing, you'll send them this like quick SMS message here. So, hey, thanks for your order. Quick question, was there anything we could have done to make your high camp experience better? And then just like you'll want to have this sent from like your customer success team. So we chose to have Jason W be our customer success rep. And you can really kind of make this up if you don't have like a customer success rep, but that's just what we've done. So if they can't receive SMS marketing, then you just basically send them the same thing via email, and you can make it a little bit longer. So in this case, hope you're doing well. Just want to check in and see how everything went with like your first insert like brand name order, your first high camp order. Was there anything we could have done to make your experience better? We're always looking to improve it and appreciate your feedback. Just hit reply and let me know. I read every response. So what this is going to do is it's actually going to be kind of like a CRO, conversion rate optimization tactic here, basically blended in with email and SMS marketing. So what you can do is you can take the responses to these questions and you can improve your store's experience, and you can improve basically upon your customer experience, user experience as well, based on the answers to these questions. So you'll want to watch these closely, and over time you'll get direct feedback from the people that matter the most, your customers, and you can improve your CRO, basically conversion rate optimization, based off of these things, just by speaking to their direct needs, changing things that might be a little bit annoying, anything like that. So super powerful first question there. So the second time customer, it's just going to be another text-based email from the founder, but just a little bit different messaging. Third time customer, again, text-based email from the founder, just a little bit different messaging. Fourth time customer, once again, text-based from the founder, but again, a little bit different messaging. It's going to be like you're like almost like you're a VIP, like, is there anything we can do to like improve or help you? So, and again, on the fourth purchase, I like to do like a customer success rep reach out again. So you can see there's no customer success reaching out between the second and third time. I just think that would be too much. But the fourth customer, basically the fourth time customer is going to have wait 15 minutes, conditional split based on can receive SMS or not, and then a personalized check-in here. So if you're going to send the SMS, it's going to be like, hey, wow, this is your fourth order. Huge thanks. If you ever need anything, just reply. We'll take care of you. Just kind of like make them feel like really good about because these are your best customers almost. So you just want to make them feel super good about their purchase and like, hey, you're part of our team. Like we really do anything to help you. And then basically just the exact same thing in email format for people that can't receive SMS. So, hey, Nolan, just want to take a moment to say thank you. Placing your fourth order means a ton to us. We're always looking to improve, so I'd love to hear from you. Is there anything we could have done to make your high camp experience better? And again, this is like CRO, user experience optimization type of question here. So that is the first step there in the post-purchase journey. So all of that is basically just going to be linked back down to right here. So it's going to group again right here. You're going to wait 1 day, and then you're going to conditional split based off of what product they purchase. So this is another one of those things where you can get super specific and personalized in the actual journey of the customer here. It takes a little bit of time, and again, if you have a bunch of products and you just want to split based off of collection, you can do that as well. So what I've done here is I've done 3 conditional splits based off of basically just showing like 3 different products. And what we've done here is we have this second email, which is really kind of the third email, depending on where in the journey you are. If it's your first time purchase, it's basically the third email since the customer success rep reached out as well. But we're going to call it the second email for now. So wait 1 day, conditional split based off product, and let's say someone purchased this product. So in my case, I'm going to use the Storm Shell jacket as an example here. So we'll preview this email. So we're almost ready to ship your Storm Shell jacket. Add more to your order. This is basically like a upsell, cross-sell email. So want to add anything, and then just give them a bunch of like bestseller options here. So add to order, and you want to make it seem like it's like super easy to add to order. Basically just saying like, hey, we can add some more stuff into your shipment here if you want. And what goes really well here is if you have a picture of like your team packing the exact product. So that'll work really well there. So then you're going to want to wait 3 days, and you're going to want to wait 3 days or however many days it takes to like kind of get your product shipped out the door, because this one's going to be like, hey, your product's en route, like your order's on the way, and also going to be like kind of like a cross-sell, upsell type of email as well. So the wait is almost over. Your high camp gear is packed and on its way. What will work really well here is if you have like a UGC, user generated content, of someone like unboxing the exact product that they purchased, and it'll just get them kind of excited to receive it, and just another touch point of just like, hey, excitement, I made the right decision type of deal. So shop more gear, and you can basically just do the same thing, add to order, footer there. Then you're going to want to wait 4 days, and you're going to want to send a basically like a how to use this product type of email. So product education is super helpful. Like you might think that you know everything about your product, but your customers don't. An example of this is we worked with a coffee brand, and their coffee was a little bit trickier to open. So people were like taking the scissors and just like cutting the entire bag open, and then like dumping the coffee into like a Ziploc bag instead of just using the built-in Ziploc on the actual coffee bag, just because it was like on the back, a little bit hard to find. It was kind of integrated into like the bag design, and so it was hard to find. So what we did was we just sent an email with like a video showing how to open the actual bag, and that email gets like 15% click rates. People just are really curious and want to know this stuff. So again, this will be on like a per product basis. So you can really get specific with the type of information you're giving people. So your Storm Shell is built for anything. It's built to handle tough conditions, but a few key tips will help you get the most out of it. So here's how to use it best, and then just throw like a bunch of tips. So tip, layer it right, adjust for comfort, let it breathe, pack it down, and then care for longevity or something. Like you'll know what to do in terms of your products there. So after that, you're going to want to wait 2 days. And again, you're going to want to do this during business hours, because this is going to be like customer success rep cross-sell type of email, and it's going to be like a text-based email here from like what seems like an actual person reaching out, like based off of exactly the product they purchased. So it looks like someone really sat down and like typed out an email like saying like, hey, thanks for like purchasing this specific product. I think you'd really like these other products based off of what you've purchased. So hey Nolan, hope you're doing well. Just want to check in and see how your storm shell jacket has been working for you. A lot of customers tell me it's their go-to for unpredictable weather, so I'd love to hear your thoughts. Since you already got the perfect outer shell, I want to share a few handpicked recommendations that pair really well. So Summit Fleece, my personal favorite for layering under the storm shell. So it's like it's weaving like other products into the use of the product that they bought. Expedition base layer, Element Pro gloves, really whatever you can cross-sell, upsell here. If you're all set, no worries. But if you ever need help picking the right layers, just reply. I'd be happy to help. And then also you could put their actual name in the link here. So shop recommendations for, and then just put like a dynamic first name here. So shop recommendations for Nolan. It's super powerful. And then again, just like from an actual person there, and then PS. I'd love to like basically hear your stories. So that's that one. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to do the exact same thing there for any other products or collections that you want to do there. So again, all that's going to group here again, and then you're going to wait 7 days. After this is going to be like, hey, follow us on social media. So we'll preview this email. So the adventure doesn't stop here. Join us on social. So follow us, and you can just basically you could either put like a bunch of different links here to different social platforms, or you could just put your top platform like Instagram or TikTok if you use that, or YouTube. So be part of something bigger, exclusive content, outdoor tips, community explorers waiting for you. And so this is just going to boost up your brand, another touch point that you can have with your customers. Wait 7 days, and I like to throw like a review / UGC flow at this point, or email. And here's kind of what the template that we have looks like. So your feedback fuels adventure. Tell us what you think and help fellow explorers find their perfect gear. So 2 easy ways to share. We'd love to hear how your high camp gear is performing. Either leave a review or tag us on social media. If they tag you on social media, you can basically just use that as UGC. And so after that, you're going to wait 7 days again, and you're going to do like a founder check-in here. So text-based email from the founder. And these text-based emails are really underrated here in terms of their effectiveness. Also, their effectiveness in terms of helping deliverability as well. So, hi Nolan, wanted to personally check in, see how everything is going with your new high camp gear. By now, you've hopefully had a chance to test it out, whether on the trail, at camp, or wherever adventure takes you. Our goal is to make sure you have the gear that's built and last. So basically, just like brand story. Another like touch point with why our brand. If you have any questions, need care tips, or just want to share your experience, just hit reply. We'd happy to help. And then just a CTA for like leaving a review as well. Again, just another touch point. And then you can also throw like a CTA to shop now in the PS sections there. So that was the post-purchase nurture flow. So now let's take a look at the Winback flow. So purchase Winback, we'll take a look at first. Again, the trigger here is going to be placed order. But what you're going to want to do here is basically just place orders 0 times since starting this flow. So you just want to make sure that nobody's like that's an active customer has placed multiple orders is receiving this flow. And then also person can receive email marketing because person subscribed. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wait like this is a little bit customizable based off your brand, but what we do is wait 60 days, and it's going to be basically split bay. So we're going to wait 60 days, and you're going to want to have it like during business hours, since it's going to be a text-based. The first email is going to be text-based from a customer success rep. You're going to want to conditional split it based off of which product someone purchased. Again, so this is kind of like the post-purchase nurture flow. And it's good because like once someone purchases, you have a bunch of data that you can target with. So split based off product. And here's the first email that you're going to send. So it's a customer success rep check-in, basically, after 60 days. And I'll show you kind of what this looks like here. So hope you're doing well. Just wanted to follow up on your Storm Shell jacket purchase and see how it's been working out for you. It's been about 2 months since you got it, and I'd love to hear how it's holding up on your adventures. Just another touch point. Keep people engaged with your brand and just used to getting your emails. So a lot of customers tell me it's their go-to for unpredictable weather. If you've taken out in the rain, you've probably noticed how well it repels water while still letting you read. So just like a benefit feature, basically. One thing I always suggest if you're heading somewhere colder, layering it with the Summit fleece, which is just like this is just going to be like an upsell, cross-sell type of email. And then just hit reply. Like if we'd love to hear what you think. Just hit reply. Like get people to engage. And then also another link here with the name in it. Just another touch point here. Not too aggressive yet, but it's kind of just like a hey, check-in type of deal. So what you can do then is wait 7 days, and this is going to be like a new arrivals / bestsellers email. So we'll check this one out. So your Storm Shell is built for anything. Now take it further. So it's going to be just personalized based on what product you purchased. And it's going to be like, hey, add these to your order or shop now. Just get some more. It's going to be just a bestseller collection product feature dump here, just to get people to re-engage and shop again. And then basically you're just going to do that for any number of products that people have purchased, so or collections, like I said. So after that, it's all going to group down here. You're going to wait 8 days, and you're going to do a discount introduction here. So this is kind of where the Winback starts if people haven't already purchased again. So come back and take 10% off. So let's see this one. So let's get you geared up again. Enjoy 10% off. Use code BEAR10 for the next 48 hours only. And so just like here's what's new type of deal. And then kind of a call to action section here at the bottom, again for the discount. After that, wait 2 days since it's a 48-hour expiration. And this is kind of like a final reminder. Like, hey, your 10% off expires tonight. Shop now. So we'll check this one out. 10% off disappears at midnight. Again, just like a product dump there. So there's that. And then also what you can do is you can wait 30 days after that. If someone doesn't purchase right then and there, it's likely you may have lost them for now, but you can send kind of one more check-in email from the founder 30 days later. So again, business hours, still out there adventuring. And this is just a text-based email, simple. I just want to check in, see how things are going. No pressure. Just a quick note to say we appreciate you being part of the HighCamp community. This is someone that has purchased before, and so you want to just remind them that hey, you're part of this community. So whether you're on the trails, planning next trip, or just gearing up for future adventures, we're here to help when you need us. I'd love to help. Just hit reply, basically. And then also just kind of mention your like new gear that you've dropped. You can have a CTA to follow us on social media, or a CTA to shop new gear in the PS sections there. So that is the purchase win back right there. So again, that's when someone purchases a product but then hasn't really purchased in a while. You can also do a prospect win back here. So the trigger here is basically just like someone has been added to your email list. So placed orders 0 times overall time. So they're just still a prospect. They haven't been a customer, but they can still receive email marketing because they subscribed. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to wait like 45 to 60 days, and then do a brand reminder email. So what you can do here is testimonials, a little bit of like, we noticed you checked out HighCamp, but never like actually took the leap here. You never actually purchased. No worries, we get it. Choosing the right gear like matters. At HighCamp, we designed adventure-ready, high-performance gear that's built to last. And then testimonials, and then a bestseller right there. So just like, hey, quick reminder, who we are, what we have. You can then wait 15 days and do a bit of a risk reversal email here. So no risk, just adventure. Again, these are like your guarantees, um, return policy, how fast your shipping is, things like that. And then again, you can throw like some more testimonials in there just to see if we can get some people to buy here. So then you can then wait 30 days, and we have it set here. So delay until Tuesday. So it's just something we've tested. Like I said, that's something you can test internally with your brand. So discount introduction is the third email here. So kind of like you want to position this as like, hey, like a flash sale, almost like a campaign type of email. Like they're like, oh, this is like a site-wide flash sale right now. I'm going to take advantage of this, but it's basically sent at the right time to the right person here. So exclusive offer, get 15% off. Show some best sellers there. And then just basically a call to action section there at the end. So wait 2 days, and then you're gonna want to send that like last chance. Your discount code expires tonight, type of deal. Wait 30 days again, and then you're gonna do a founder check-in text-based email, just like the purchase win back there. So this one's a little bit more straightforward. No kind of conditional splits or anything like that. Still very effective. And it's just making sure that you're reaching out to the right person, sending them the right message, and it's at the right time. So now let's talk about, let's see. So we talked about the abandoned cart, abandoned checkout browse, prospect, purchase, site, welcome series, post-purchase. So now we can touch on the sunset flow. So let's take a look at the sunset flow here. So the trigger for the sunset flow is a little bit more complex. You have to actually go in and create a sunset segment. So we'll touch on that a little bit more when we talk about the segmentation a little bit later in this video. But what you can do is when someone's added to the segment, that can be the trigger. The profile filters here are basically opened email 0 times since starting this flow, and clicked email 0 times since starting this flow. So what they are is just super unengaged. And so once they're added to this segment, you can wait 1 day, and then during business hours, because it's going to be a text-based email from the founder, just saying like, is this time to say goodbye? Hey, it's Nolan, co-founder of HighCamp. Just wanted to personally check in. It's been a while since you joined our list. I totally get it that inboxes fill up fast. If you're still interested, Adventure Ready Gear, we'd love to have you stick around. If not, no worries at all. HighCamp started because I was frustrated with outdoor gear that didn't hold up. So basically just kind of brand story, problem that we solved. And then just kind of the benefits that we have. So storm-proof durability, risk-free shopping, trusted by thousands. So a little bit of social proof in there as well. If you're still on the fence, I just reactivated your 10% off welcome discount. Just use code WELCOME10 at checkout. Check out our best sellers. Either way, thanks for being here. Just kind of like a no pressure check-in here with some PS statements. So reply, I read every email, and then also this one's super powerful. So and you think you wouldn't want to do this, but hey, PPS, if you rather not hear from us, guy, I totally understand. You can just unsubscribe and just give them like an unsubscribe link. Like if people don't want to, at this point with the sunset flow, if people don't want to shop with you, maybe they don't want to receive your emails anymore. So you can send them this email, and a lot of people will self clean your list for you. This is basically just going to keep your deliverability high, have super engaged people on your email list at all times, and just make sure you're sending to engaged people only. And that's really the only thing that you have to do. But what you want to do is you want to wait 5 days after that just to make sure nobody really touches that email or clicks on it, opens it, or anything like that. If somebody does, they'll be re-engaged, and they won't get this profile property update. So if somebody doesn't, based on the profile filters here that we have, if somebody opens email, then they'll be removed from the flow. If they clicked email, they'll be removed from the flow. And so if somebody clicks on this email or opens this email, they'll be removed before the 5 days is up, and they won't receive this profile property update. But if they don't do anything, they're unengaged still, they will receive this profile property update, and it will basically just be create new property, sunset suppress is true, and then you can go in and you can basically suppress those profiles and clean your email list that way. So that was the sunset flow. Now let's talk about the 1 hour rescue flow here. And so this one's another super simple flow here. But what it basically is trigger is added to this segment. So someone clicks on email in the last 24 hours, no profile properties needed there. What you're going to do is you're going to wait 1 hour and do a conditional split. What this is just an A/B test here. Conditional split, random sample, 50% of people. And what we're testing here is if a message from the founder or a message from the customer support team works best here. So it's the same message just sent from different people. And it's just like, hey, quick question for you. I saw you were checking out HighCamp but didn't finish your order. Totally get it. Things come up. If price was the reason, here's 10% off. Use code RESCUE10 at checkout. It's only good for 2.5 hours. So like super short and just like kind of random. So people are like, oh, like this must be like, there must be a reason behind why it's only good for 2.5 hours. If you have questions, just reply. Happy to help. And then, like I said, so it's the same email, just sent from different people there. Awesome. So that is all of the email flows that you really need to set up to have a very successful email automated flow program. So now let's take a look at the SMS flows. So I kind of group this post-purchase nurture as a email and SMS flow since there are a couple of SMS options in there. But what we have is we have the abandoned cart SMS, abandoned checkout SMS, purchase Winback SMS, and then also like a SMS welcome series. So let's jump into the SMS welcome series here. So the trigger here, when someone subscribes to SMS marketing, basically, the profile filter here has not been in flow at any time. So there's no re-entry into this. The first welcome SMS is going to be just, hey, super simple. Welcome to HighCamp. Excited to have you here. Get 10% off your order with your first order with just like a coupon code here. And then shop now. And what you can do is you can have like a separate coupon code for SMS compared to email, and it just allow you to track, hey, which one is being used more, which one's driving more revenue, things like that. And then what you can do, quick trick here, is just wait 10 minutes after. So there's no time delay between when someone subscribes and when someone gets the SMS, just like the email. However, what we'll do is we'll send an SMS 5 to 10 minutes later with our contact card. So this will just be like, make sure to save our contact card to be notified about our latest deals. And so what this is you just go into and add the virtual contact card here. And what this will do is if they click on it, you can set like a image that will show up on like your iPhone and things like that. And also a name for the actual contact, so you're not just getting a random number, and so it doesn't just look like 1-855-6966-414 or whatever. It actually looks like HighCamp partners with an actual logo and everything. Super powerful stuff. So we'll go back here. So 10 minutes, and then you're going to wait 1 day, and you're going to do a conditional split based on, has someone placed an order since starting this flow. If someone has placed an order 0 times since starting this flow, if the answer is yes, so basically they have not placed an order yet, they'll keep going through. If the answer is no, they'll basically just be exited out of the SMS flow here. So reminder, just a heads up, your 10% off code is still available. Don't wait too long. Use code BEAR10. So a little bit more urgency there. Wait 2 days, same conditional split based off, has someone placed orders 0 times? If so, do like a last chance SMS here. So last chance, your 10% off deal expires tonight. Get it before it's gone. Use code BEAR10, shop now. So that's the welcome SMS welcome flow there. A little bit on the shorter side. You kind of want to keep your SMSs more like a little bit less touch points, just because it's a little bit more expensive to send. A little bit more sales oriented, urgency oriented. So that was the welcome series. Now let's take a look at the abandoned cart. So again here, the metric trigger is added to cart. Shopify trigger there. The profile, no trigger filters, and then the profile filters are place orders 0 times since starting this flow, and person can receive SMS marketing, and then has not been in flow in the last 30 days. So what you're going to want to do is wait 4 hours after, and you're going to want to send them a quick nudge. So left something behind, your cart is still waiting, complete your order now. So very simple reminder. Then you're going to want to wait 1 day and send another reminder, SMS, still deciding your items are still in your cart, but they won't be forever. So a little bit of urgency there. Finish your order, CTA, wait 2 days, and then has placed order at least once overall time right here. So if they have placed an order at least once, then they will just basically get this like last chance SMS, which will say like last chance your items may sell out soon. Complete your order now before it's too late. So a little bit more urgency, like hey, act now, reason to act now. That's kind of what you want. What you want to do is you want to give people a reason to act now. And then if they haven't placed an order at least once overall time, they'll go through this discount intro, discount closeout flow here, SMS flow here. So still thinking, here's 10% off your first order. Use code first10 at checkout. Expires in 24 hours. And then what you can do is you can wait 1 day and do kind of like the SMS discount closeout. So final reminder, your 10% off code expires tonight. Don't miss your chance to save. So there was the abandoned cart. So now let's take a look at the abandoned checkout. Difference here is checkout started trigger. Placed order 0 times starting this flow. Person can receive SMS marketing, and then has not been inflown last 30 days. So wait 1 hour. So it's a little bit more aggressive than the abandoned cart. The abandoned cart was 4 hours. This one's just going to be a little bit more aggressive since it's a little bit more bottom of funnel, middle of funnel here. And then the first SMS is just going to be a quick nudge, quick reminder. Left something behind, your cart is still waiting. Complete your order now. And this is really just going to be the exact same thing as the abandoned cart. So wait 1 day, reminder SMS, wait 2 days, conditional split based off if someone's purchased before or not. If they have, they'll get this last chance one. If not, they'll go through like a discount intro, discount closeout type of deal. So now let's take a look here at the purchase Winback SMS flow. So the trigger here for this purchase Winback is going to be placed order. And placed order 0 times since starting this flow, profile filter, and person can receive SMS marketing. So what you're just going to want to do is you're going to want to wait 75 days or kind of like 2.5 times your buying cycle. So if your buying cycle is like maybe you have like a 30-day supplement, then you'd take 30 times it by 2.5 basically, and you'd get a 75-day buying cycle there. So SMS 1 is kind of like a discount introduction. You're just going to go right into the discount with the SMS flow here. So we've missed you. Here's 10% off your next order. Use code 1010 at checkout. Expires in 48 hours. And again, you want to make sure this coincides with your Winback. Your purchase Winback flow, email flow. So you don't want to make sure the timing is relatively the same. And then wait 2 days, and then just basically discount last chance. So two SMSs here, super simple. Last chance, your 10% off code 1010 expires tonight. Don't miss out. Shop now. So there we go. Those are all of the flows that we really need to set up in order to have a super successful, automated flow experience for our customers. And so what we can do now is we can move into talking about campaigns. So when it comes to campaigns in Klaviyo, there's really 3 options that you have. There's email campaigns, SMS campaigns, and there's also in-app push notifications. If you have an app, you know what I'm talking about. And if you have an iPhone, you receive push notifications all day long. So I'm not going to really touch on those as much. I'm going to touch on the email and SMS campaigns more though. So when it comes to email campaigns, you really want to be sending 3 to 4 per week. This is kind of the sweet spot for engagement conversions versus drop off in engagement in conversions. The type of emails that you're going to want to be sending are like 70% value, educational, entertainment, and 30% sales. So 30% like more product. Maybe it's like a product launch. Maybe it's a flash sale, something like that. So 70% value, 30% sales. And then in terms of the SMS campaigns, you're going to want to be sending around 1 per week. If you had to stick to a number, it would be like 1 per week. And then if it's a really big sales period or a really big sales going on, you could do 2 a week. But really, we like to stick to 1 a week. And the type of these are going to be 100% sales. You're not going to want to send any like kind of value oriented SMS messages here, just because SMS is a little bit more expensive to run. So 100% sales, and then you're also going to want to be following some of these rules here for SMS. So the first thing you want to do is just not include any images. When you include an image in an SMS, the credits, the SMS credits used per SMS sent goes way up. So if you include an image, it's going to go from 1 credit to I believe 3 credits, and that's just going to increase your cost per send by 3 times. And uh, the rule here is, if you kind of think about it, is if you include an image in your SMS, it's going to cost you 3 times the amount to send. Is it going to get you 3 times the amount of conversions? And generally, it's going to be, the answer to that is just going to be no. It's not going to get you 3 times the amount of conversions as just a regular SMS would. So typically just don't include any images there. You're going to want to have a 160 character max. And what this is going to do is just going to keep it under that 1 SMS credit max or range. If you go above 160 characters, you're going to get into 2 SMS credits per send, or even 3 SMS credits per send if you get the character count high enough. After that, you're just not going to want to send any emojis as well, or special characters. These emojis and special characters are also going to increase your SMS credit per SMS sent, and just increase the overall price that you're paying to send these SMSs. And then the final rule here is to abide by these TCPA SMS quiet hours. So you can't send any SMSs between 9 p.m. and 8 a.m. So you want to make sure you're abiding by that. It's kind of more of on the legal side, and that's just something that your Klaviyo actually does help with that, but you just want to make sure that you're following that rule still. When it comes to actually fulfilling these campaigns, there's a couple of things you're going to want to be doing. Obviously, you're going to be needing to write copy, and that's something you can do with AI prompts and ChatGPT, which I have. I showed you a little bit of the snippet, but we have AI prompts for our ChatGPT prompts for every single email within all of our flows, and then also within our campaign templates as well, which I will show you here in a little bit. So the next thing you're going to want to worry about is design. And so to make this really efficient, you can use templates, like I said. You can also use universal content. And so this is content that you maybe use on a recurring basis a lot. So maybe it's like a 4-product bestseller feature that you can just throw into the bottom of any email. Maybe it's a testimonial block that you use and you've tested that has a high conversion rate, things like that. And I'll show you a little bit more about what that means here in a little bit. And then also you're going to want to make sure you have basically a responsive email design. And really what you really want to focus on is having a mobile first email design. I think 70 to 80% of all emails are opened on a mobile device. And so you really want to focus on having a mobile first design in all of your email templates. And then what you're going to want to do to just basically continually improve and never allow your subscribers to get like kind of bored is you're just going to want to refresh your content on a quarterly basis. And that's just basically refreshing your templates, refreshing your universal content on a quarterly basis. After that, you're going to want to build it out in Klaviyo, and that's just setting the subject line, the segment, the preview text, the sender name, the sender email, the reply to email address, setting up any like A/B tests or anything like that, and getting that ready to be scheduled out inside of Klaviyo. And then what we do is we have a 23-point quality assurance checklist just to make sure that all of your flows and your emails are basically 100% good to go every single time that you send one. So you're never really making any errors or anything like that. And so what I'll do right now is I'll show you this 23-point checklist here. So before we send any emails live, we use inside of our ClickUp project management software, we use this 23-point checklist. So at the top, you can see here, it's like the main task, quality assurance, 23-point checklist. Within this, we have subtasks and then also some more subtasks as well. And so what we're going to really want to make sure is that once we create a new test in Testia or Litmus or anything like that, we're going to want to make sure that the email renders properly across multiple email clients. And we're talking things like Gmail, Outlook, iPhone, desktop, things like that. We're going to want to make sure it looks good across all devices. And then also we're going to want to make sure that the email displays correctly in dark and light mode. So that's going to be something that software like Testia or Litmus is going to be really good at helping with. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to send an email to yourself, a test email in Klaviyo. And if applicable, you're going to want to make sure that all dynamic content or personalization works as intended. So that's things like your first name, in the first section there, you're going to want to make sure it's actually pulling in your first name and not some random dynamic code URL that's not working. And you're also just going to want to quick check that the email does not go to spam or anything like that. After that, you're going to want to do a content check, and you're going to want to make sure that the subject line is clear, engaging, and free of typos. You're going to want to make sure that the preview text complements the subject line and is relevant and free of typos as well. You're going to want to make sure the email body is copy is free of spelling or grammatical errors, and the call to action or CTA is clear, visible, and actionable. After that, the links in the email direct to the correct landing pages. That's a big one. You want to make sure that you have links first of all, and then they are going to the right place. So after that, we're going to do a design check, and this is going to consist of making sure that the email displays correctly on both desktop and mobile, once again, so it's kind of like a responsive email. You're going to want to make sure the fonts, colors, and styles match the brand guidelines. Just kind of a quick brand check. That's kind of more for us on our end. If you're going to be running these campaigns for your brand, you're going to know exactly what matches your brand guidelines when you're making it. So images are optimized for email. They load quickly, they appear sharp, and they include alt text. And then also spacing, padding, and alignment are all consistent across the board. So next we're going to do a functionality check. So again, all links, including buttons, images, and text, work properly. Social media icons direct to the correct profiles. The unsubscribe link is included and functional. And the email complies with legal requirements, so like GDPR, CAN spam, things like that. And the final details here are the send date and time are appropriate for the target audience and align with the client's goals, is what that would say. After that, you're going to want to make sure that the from name and email address are recognizable and branded and aligned with the client's goals again. A/B tests are set up, if applicable, with clear goals in mind and clear hypotheses. And then tracking parameters are set up and turned on. And then finally, you just want to make sure that the email has been reviewed and approved by all relevant stakeholders. So that's, in our case, it's the client has approved the email, the account manager has approved the email, the senior account manager has approved the email, and any other relevant stakeholders or anything like that. And then optional, you can have a backup team member double check the email for basically like fresh eyes. And then after that, if all looks good, then you can schedule the email. You can send the email if you're going to be just sending it, or you can set the flow live if you're going to be doing this for flows, since the flow stuff kind of all filters right into this copywriting design Klaviyo build out as well. So now what I can do is I can come back in here and I can show you the templates that we built out. So we have a couple of templates that just are match high performing best practices in email marketing that we've built out. And so here's what we'll do. So not the segments yet, but here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you the templates that we have here. So we have 12 templates really that we use on a basis for email campaigns here. So the first one is we use this basically flexible founders message. So let's see if we can preview this. So this one is just going to be a text-based email from the founder. And like I said, these are super underrated and underutilized within the email marketing world here. So this is just going to be, basically, hey, I just want to take a moment to personally reach out. Since starting brand, my goal has always been simple. and then just brief mission statement, why the brand exists. And then you can basically kind of just customize this based on whatever you really want to do. If you want to delete this a whole thing and you have a specific message that you want to write, then you could do that. These text-based emails are really on the easier side when it comes to kind of just adjusting the copy and everything like that. And then we also have a ChatGPT prompt to basically just generate this email for any brand. And so that's what we use for the founders, basically just a flexible founder's message. Anything can be sent from the founder, and this just helps with that. The next thing we have is a single column showcase layout, and so I'll show you what this looks like here. So basically at the top here, header, GIF or image, main headline will go here. Basically your H1 will go here. Some short body text, a little bit like maybe 2 sentences max there, and then a call to action. And then H2, headline for secondary content there. And then what it goes into is another image, headline for tertiary content. So it's going to be like your H3, short body text. So no more than like 1 sentence there. Call to action, another image here, headline for tertiary content. And then short body text again, call to action. And then it basically just repeats again, H3, body text, call to action, and then footer. And what I like to do is I like to use these kind of footers right here where it's, shop all, and then it's like maybe shop men, shop women, shop kids. And then you have like your basically social links right there. And then you have your your organization full as address. You have your unsubscribe link, your name as well. So those are all customizable there. So this is a single column showcase layout. Now we have a double column layout here, and this is a double column layout. So I'll show you the double column layout, the OG double column layout here, and then we'll go in and show you the ×2. So image, H1, body text, 2 sentences max, call to action, H2, and that's going to basically just split double column here. H3, body text, call to action with an image at the top of both. And then you can see on mobile, it just stacks right there. So very, very simple and mobile friendly, right? So then we have the double column layout ×2, and this is basically just a 4 up, not a 4 up, but it's a double column ×2, literally. And so again, this has H1 body text, CTA, H2 image, H3 body text, CTA, and then it just repeats again with the footer right there. So now what we have is a hybrid layout, something we call a hybrid layout here. So we'll preview this. So right here you can see that the text is left aligned already, so a little bit of a difference. But again, just simple header, hero image, H1, body text, 2 sentences max, try to keep it under, call to action, H2, and then image, H3, body text, ghost button. And so this looks a little bit better when it's expanded a little bit more, they're more in line. But for sake of this, image, H3, body text, ghost button, which a ghost button is just a link with like an arrow. And that just basically repeats. So image, H3, body text, ghost button, image, H3, body text, ghost button, and then footer. And then you can see kind of what it looks like on mobile there. It just stacks. And so it all looks mobile friendly there. And so next thing we can talk about is the zigzag layout. This one is a very popular layout for e-commerce email marketing. In particular, a lot of brands will choose to go with this zigzag layout. It's very effective as well. So again, header, hero image, main headline, H1, body text, 2 sentences max, once again, call to action, and then here's where the zigzag starts right here. So H2, body text, ghost button, image, and then we have image, H2, body text, ghost button, and then just basically repeats. So H2, body text, ghost button, image, H2, body text, ghost button. And so you're going to want to also make sure that these are all aligned on mobile here correctly. And then, yeah, it just goes right into the footer there. So that's the zigzag layout. Another really popular one here is the F pattern layout. And so we'll show you what that looks like here. So you got the header up here, again, hero image, H1 body text call to action, all left aligned there. And then what you're going to have is you're going to have an image, H2 body text ghost button, and then it's just going to repeat down. So image H2 body text ghost button, image H2 body text ghost button, and then finally another image H2 body text ghost button. And then your footer there. So next thing we can move into is this multi-column layout. So the thing with the multi-column layout is you just want to make sure that it looks really good on mobile, and you just make sure the way to do that is just to make sure that these are stacking and they're not three across. And so again, header, hero image, H1 body text call to action, a little bit of a divider there, and then you have your basically three up here. So image, 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 body text, body text, body text, ghost button, ghost button, ghost button. And like I said, just make sure they stack on mobile there. And then so now we have what we call a single column layout here. So this is going to be your header, hero image, H1, body text, a little bit longer on the longer side. You could do a little bit longer here. Maybe you could use this for like a more of your long form, maybe like a blog post, new blog post or something like that. So call to action, H2, and then longer body text, ghost button, H3, body text, ghost button there. And then so these are one of the most popular layouts for e-commerce email marketing, and they're called the inverted pyramid layouts here. And then so really what this consists of is a hero image, H1, body text, call to action, and then that's really it. It's, like I said, one of the most popular and effective e-commerce email marketing email layout here. So header, your hero section, H1, body text, call to action, footer. And what we can do is we can just stack these, and what this is called is a double inverted pyramid. So inverted pyramid 1 here, so image, H1, body text, call to action, and then we have basically inverted pyramid number 2 here. So the only difference is that this is an H2 and not H1. So image, H2, body text, call to action, and then footer. And then once again, we have a triple inverted pyramid here. And you get the gist here. So H1, image, H1, body text, call to action, image, H2, body text, call to action, image, H3, body text, call to action, and then footer. And that really shows the templates that you can use. So you can basically just copy paste those. Now let's talk about universal content. So universal content is going to be things like I said, so like testimonial sections, product sections, again, product sections, product showcase single column sections, like a testimonial section right here. You're not going to want to remake that every single time. Offer CTA sections, maybe like a feature benefit section, again, more product showcase sections, and I'll show you in the templates actually how we use these. So each template comes with universal content at the bottom, all of the universal content at the bottom. So I'll show you here. So we have basically a universal ChatGPT prompt for ecom email campaigns here for triple inverted pyramids layout. And so it basically just tells you, the ChatGPT prompt just tells you exactly what you need. So main header, body text, CTA, a secondary header, H2. So it just, like these ChatGPT prompts are make this so easy. It really does. But then we have the universal content blocks at the bottom here. And so what you'll do before is you'll just delete all these sections before sending your email, but it makes it so easy to just drag and drop all your sections into place to make this email, to make your email campaign good to go, and really easy every single time. So what you could do is you could just drag this testimonial section up into the campaign if you wanted to, change some of the testimonials if you wanted to, or you could just leave them, and then you'll have that. So testimonial section 2, a Y brand section, like a product double column product showcase section, a single column product showcase section, offer CTA section, and that's really all. You could add way more if you wanted to. And then like I said, just we actually have it right here. So delete before sending. These are just campaign resources. with a ChatGPT prompt and then universal content at the bottom. And so that kind of touches on the universal content there. And like I said, you just want to kind of refresh this content on a quarterly basis just to make sure that things are still fresh in the minds and the view of the customers that are receiving this. And so that really covers everything from the tech stack, list growth, in terms of pop-ups, sign-up forms, post-purchase sign-up. It covers all the automated flows that you're going to need. And now we just covered all of the campaign, uh, basically all the campaign rules, frequency, type, and actually how to go in and make this super, super simple. You really could send uh, you really could send 4 email campaigns a week, and it could take you 30 minutes to set up once you have it all done and everything like that. Um, and so now we're going to touch on deliverability. So deliverability, there's kind of a two-pronged starting approach here when it comes to deliverability. So it really depends on, do you have a new domain or are you migrating from like MailChimp to Klaviyo? If you do have a new domain or you are migrating to Klaviyo, you're going to want to send your domain through a warm-up process. And what you can basically do is, if you're migrating to Klaviyo, if it's a new domain, it's a little bit trickier. But if you're migrating to Klaviyo, you're just going to want to basically have all your flows in place and maybe just uh, make the first email in every single flow live, so that you're not sending hundreds of emails or thousands of emails a day. You're really just sending like uh, 10 or like 100, up to, you don't want to send more than like 100 emails a day to begin with. So maybe you just take like your welcome series, your abandoned checkout, and turn like the first 1 to 2 emails on and have that run for like a month, just to make sure that uh, like Outlook and Gmail, they know that you are who you say you are, and you're not um, just sending thousands and thousands and thousands of emails all at once. So you could also do this with campaigns. You could send to like a 10% of your entire list or your super, super, super engaged email subscribers. And I would use only text-based emails to warm this up. You don't want to be sending like image-only emails to warm up your domain. So you want to make sure you're sending like text-only emails. Those are going to help really establish that domain. And like I said, just don't send a ton of emails at the start. Warm it up over like a month. Uh, After about a month, you're probably good to go. But do kind of like a gradual warm up process. Don't just jump right into it. Um, so let's say you do have an established domain. You don't really have to worry about this warm up process. But what you do have to worry about is your authentication infrastructure. And so what this means is your SPF, your DKIM, your DMARC, and your BIMI. And what you really have to worry about is the SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. BIMI is basically going to throw a logo in your email provider when you send it. It's just going to make your brand more recognizable, but it's also quite expensive. And so I would only do this if your brand makes like $10 million or more a year and you really wanted to invest in email marketing. But what these are they're just authentication protocols that are going to, at the end of the day, tell Gmail, tell Outlook that you are who you say you are. You are the brand that it's basically just going to confirm your domain at the end of the day. So I mean, I could go in and talk about all the specifics of these things, but what happens is Klaviyo actually makes it relatively simple to set this stuff up. It gives you step-by-step direction, especially when you're creating a dedicated sending domain. And so just follow Klaviyo's advice on this. And it can get a little bit trickier when you're trying to authenticate third-party apps. And there's misalignments within DNS settings and stuff like that. But we use a tool called EasyDMark to do this, and it makes it super simple. If you are having problems with like these third-party apps sending to spam and things like that, it's likely comes down to your DMARC policy, but it also comes down to having things like your SPF and DKIM set up for those third-party apps. And sometimes you have to set up subdomains, and it can get a little bit tricky, but For the most part, if you're sending strictly through Klaviyo, Klaviyo makes it super easy to send with that dedicated sending domain. The next thing in deliverability is the best way to keep your deliverability high is to just use engagement-based sending. So sending to people who have engaged with your brand within the last 30, 60, and even 90 days. It's really going to this is going to be the best framework and the best advice that you can receive to just basically boost your deliverability always and keep it always high. And then you're also just going to want to clean your list and stuff, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So, and then in terms of the actual email content that you're sending, there's a couple of things you want to do. You want to avoid spam trigger words, and I'll show you kind of like a list that we use from Active Campaign, really good website for this stuff. So some things like that are some things that would be considered spam trigger words are things like, let's see, so like number one, 100% more, 100% free, 100% satisfied, income, be your own boss, best price. So these are all things that you're just going to want to kind of avoid because like Gmail and Outlook, they're going to flag these words as potential scammers, potential just basically spam, and then you're going to be sent to spam. You do not want to do that. So just avoid those. You can look up a full list on your own if you want. I'm not going to go through all 188 words here. The next thing you want to do for email content is basically just having a 60 to 40 text to image ratio. And what this means is your email should consist of basically 60% text and 40% images. And you can do this very, very easily with the templates that I've provided for Klaviyo. If you really wanted to get fancy and you want to send all image emails from like Figma or something like that, what you can do is you can just put a really, really, really small amount of text. And when I mean small, just size wise, you can put like a long paragraph or something like that from your website at the bottom of the email, and then make it blend in with the colors and just basically decrease the margin to 0. So there's text at the bottom of the email, and the whole thing is it's what the user sees is just this big long designed image. Obviously, you want to break that up into smaller images, but what the user sees is just a super well designed email. But what the Gmail and Outlooks see is the text actually at the bottom, so it looks really, really friendly. And that's just kind of one trick to get around that. And then email content, super like kind of basic, but you're just always going to want to make sure you have an unsubscribe link in there. And then in terms of things you're going to want to do on like a quarterly basis, you're going to want to make sure you clean your list on a quarterly basis. And this is not only going to help with your deliverability, but it's also going to save you money on Klaviyo costs. Klaviyo charges by the amount of subscribers that you have on your list. And so what this is going to do is when you clean your list, you're going to get rid of people that are bad actors, maybe people that just aren't engaged at all and never likely will not engage no matter what you do. And so you just don't want these people on your email list at the end of the day. They're not valuable in any way, and they're just costing you more and more money. And then also, we kind of talked about this a little bit, the misalignments, but if you really wanted to get into deliverability, you could fix your DNS misalignments and you could check that on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And that's just something a little bit more advanced that you could do in terms of the email deliverability side. So what I can do now is I can show you actually inside of our EasyDmark account. This is our EasyDmark account that we have. It's what we use for email deliverability. And it's showing my domain right now. So highcamp.co. And it's over the last 90 days, just so I can show you some misalignments here that we've had. So you can see genuinely you see a lot of green, which is good. You can see a lot of compliant emails. And what this basically means is your it basically just means that our domain is relatively authenticated, and the emails that we want to go through are going through. And so we use Google Workspace for Gmail, and so those are all passing. We use Klaviyo obviously for sending like test emails and stuff, so you can see there's not that much volume there. But what I wanted to show you is this non-compliant tab, and this is kind of where you can find your misalignments. So right now it says that in the last 90 days, we had 4 emails coming from Klaviyo that were not compliant. And so what this basically means is we didn't have a dedicated sending domain set up properly, sending emails from Klaviyo. And we kind of did this on purpose so that we could show you these misalignments here. But what we do is we just go in and we basically just click on this gear icon, and you can see like, oh, the DKIM's configured. Okay, perfect. And then when it comes to like SPF, it's not configured. So what you could do is you could just click on this guide, walk through the steps, and then fix it that way. Also, Salesforce. If we were like, hey, we're using Salesforce for something, and uh, like say we're using Salesforce for sending cold emails or something. I'm not sure what we'd use Salesforce for. And a bunch of, like, say there was like 100 emails here. What would be happening, since it's under the non-compliant tab, is that all of our emails would be going to spam. They would not be delivered. And so that's obviously super bad. We want our cold emails to be going through. And so what you'd want to have to do is you'd want to have to go in here and you'd want to fix that non-compliant tab and get this over into the compliant tab. It's a little bit more, this is a little bit more advanced, and I could dive into this a little bit more. I actually love DNS settings, but I know it's not everyone's favorite hobby. And then you can also kind of see like threats or unknown things here. So you could also kind of just monitor where people are trying to send emails from on your behalf. A lot of times it's from other countries and stuff like that. But that's just kind of a look into our deliverability protocols and what we kind of do to fix those DNS misalignments and stuff. But now what we can do is we've touched on deliverability. It's relatively simple. Just warm up your new domain if you're doing a Klaviyo migration or something like that. Have your authentication infrastructure built out, especially for your Klaviyo sending domain. And then really just send on a engagement basis there. And I'll talk a little bit about the engagement basis here when we talk about segmentation here. And so when it comes to segmentation, we really break it down into a couple of different things. So we have engagement-based segments, we have behavior-based segments, we have preference-based segments, location-based segments, and when it comes to Klaviyo, you can also use predictive analytics to create segments as well. So what I've done is I've also broken these down into kind of foundational segments that you really should have set up and would be like the cornerstone of your segmentation strategy. And then we also have kind of more advanced segments as well that you can add, but those are a little bit more custom to your brand sometimes, or they're a little bit out of the scope of what's necessary. So when it comes to foundational engagement-based segments, the first one I have here is your all active and list. And this is not actually a segment if you were to really actually dive into it. There's difference between segments and lists. Segments are just basically dynamically updating lists. But what I wanted to include in here because it's important. Basically, you just want to have an all active email list. And why this is important is because you're going to want to basically just send one campaign a month to everybody on your list. And this is going to help with engagement. It's also going to help with kind of cleaning your list. After, you're going to be able to see that, hey, I did send. You're going to be able to check the box and say, hey, I did send to this person. I did send to everybody on our list, but they still did not engage. And then you're going to be able to feel more comfortable with kind of suppressing that profile. But it's also just going to give more reach to your overall message and conversions there. Next thing you want to do is create like a super engaged segment. And so what this is basically like they've clicked on or opened your emails multiple times in the last 30 days. After that, 30-day engaged, this is very simple. So it's basically just opened or clicked one of your emails or active on site within the last 30 days. And I'll kind of go through these inside of Klaviyo and show you the actual breakdown of all of these, but I just kind of give you a high-level overview of all these right now. The next thing you want to do is have like a 60-day engaged, and you can do this for both email and SMS. And so you can really use this as your kind of cornerstone SMS sending segment, just to make sure you're sending to engaged SMS subscribers as well with your campaigns. After that, 90-day engaged, so open, clicked, or active on site in 90 days. And then I like to also create like an exclude 120 to 180 day unengaged segment. And so this is a group of people that just basically have not opened, clicked, or active on site within 120 to 180 days. And you can exclude these people from receiving your campaigns, which are going to, it's just basically going to boost your deliverability and send to the right people. So a little bit more advanced engagement based segments are kind of your VIP engaged. So these could be people that are whatever you classify as a VIP. So maybe that's 4 purchases, maybe that's 5 purchases, maybe that's $500 spent, maybe that's $600 or $1,000 spent. Whatever you classify as that, you're going to want to basically create this segment, and it'll be like 4 plus. It'll be only people that have purchased 4 plus times, for example, that have open, clicked, or active on site in the last 30 days. And that's just your VIP engaged segment, which you could use to send like early offers to, or you could send, special promotions just for VIPs too, or something like that. And then you could really, if you really want to go out far, you could do like 120-day engaged or 120-day engaged. And also you could include anybody that's purchased in the past. And that's just going to kind of be like a wide net there that you can throw out, maybe for like a Black Friday, Cyber Monday campaign or something like that, or like one of your like holiday campaigns or something. And you can also create like a win-back segment if you wanted to send campaigns specifically to people and try and win them back that haven't purchased in a while. You can do that both prospect and purchase win-back segments. And then when it comes to behavior-based segments, foundational segments here are basically just your high-value customers. And this also is kind of a little bit custom based on your brand and your LTV or average order value, things like that. But it's going to be anybody that's spent above a certain threshold over their lifetime. And so again, you can kind of treat those as like VIPs. And you can kind of group these two together if you want. So VIPs, high value customers. Kind of a unique one is this 30-day viewed product. So if someone has viewed a product within the last 30 days, you can create that segment. You can also create a segment of people who have added to cart or started checkout within the last 30 days. And those will be like super engaged people, subscribers as well. And just you just want to make sure they haven't purchased in the last 30 days. And then also you can create this exclude 4 plus soft bounces. So there's a difference between soft and hard bounces. So hard bounces basically just means that this email is not legit at all. It's a hard bounce because this email does not exist anywhere in the world. A soft bounce is a little bit more in the gray area. So it could have not sent due to a technical reason on either the sender side or the receiver side. The inbox could be full or any other wide variety of reasons. What's going to happen is that Klaviyo will automatically suppress an email address after 7 plus soft bounces, but I like to start excluding them from campaigns at around 4 plus soft bounces just to make sure that we're sending to the right people and we're not even letting it get to that 7 plus soft bounces. It's just going to help with deliverability overall and your overall results there. And then you can also exclude anybody that has marked you as spam or like basically just a spam complainer. You could exclude anybody from, you could create a segment that excludes those people from campaigns as well. So on the more advanced side, you could really get niche here and target like a lot of people. What I like to do is to think about these couple of segments here. So one-timer churned buyers. So that's kind of like almost like your win-back segment a little bit. Exclude in welcome flow. So you, like we talked about earlier with the welcome flow, you could exclude people that have been in the welcome flow or that are in the welcome flow, sorry. If you have a customer support platform like Gorgias or anything else, you could exclude people with a customer support or Gorgias open ticket. So if somebody has an open ticket with a customer support platform, they likely are trying to resolve an issue, and they might not prefer to receive any marketing communication during that time, and they might react poorly to it. They might unsubscribe. They might spam complain, things like that, just because they might not be as your most happy customers at that time until you can get their problem solved. And then another advanced one that you could create is like canceled subscribers. And these are like these are people that have actually like subscribed to your products via like a subscription app or something like that. And they have actually gone ahead and like canceled it. And you could try and win those subscribers back over time. And then when it comes to like preferences, uh, location, and predictive analytics, these are really all just custom based on your brand. Preferences could be anything like, for example, with a coffee brand, you could target people that like K-cups. You could target people that uh, like pour over coffee or drip coffee or like AeroPress or something like that. And those could all be super specific segments that you could send super specific offers to. Um, Location, if you have like stores or pop-ups in certain locations, you could create a segment based off of that location and send like a notice about, hey, we have a store opening, or hey, we're going to have a pop-up in New York or something like that in a week. And that's like one reason you could do that. And then predictive analytics is a little bit more advanced on the Klaviyo side there. Uh, but it's also can be super powerful if you use it correctly. I would say the number one thing with segmentation here is don't get don't get carried away. If you really had to create one segment and you had to only send to one segment your entire journey as an email or ecom owner, I would do like 30-day or 60-day engaged email, and that just makes sure you're casting a wide net. You're making sure that each email you send is super effective. You could really target based on whether someone, likes giraffe print over uh, like cheetah print, and they also have like an innie or outie belly button or something like crazy. But that's going to be like two people, and you're going to spend like 30 minutes, 20 minutes creating a campaign just for these two people. And uh, the amount of revenue driven from segmenting overly crazy like that is uh, it's not going to be as effective or as much revenue as if you were to just send a more broad campaign to a more broad list and cast a wider net. So I would say just don't get carried away with segmentation. Keep it simple, stupid, and you'll be good to go. So what I can actually do now is I can hop into Klaviyo and I can show you the actual segments that you should be setting up and kind of the breakdown of these foundational segments. So here's what I'll do. We'll filter by high camp there. And what we're going to do is we're going to we're going to go through the engagement based ones first. So the first thing we're going to start with is this 30-day engaged. And this is kind of your quintessential segment here. And I'm really just going to look at the definition here, since I don't really have any profiles. It's a development Shopify account and development Klaviyo account. Um, so you're just going to basically name it 30-day engaged or 30D engaged. And here are the breakdown of the definition of this segment. So what someone has or has not done, opened email at least once in the last 30 days, or what someone has or has not done, clicked email at least once in the last 30 days, or what someone has or has not done, active on site at least once in the last 30 days. And then you're just going to want to make an and condition there. And if someone can or cannot can receive email marketing because person subscribed. And what you're going to want to do for the 60-day and 90-day and 120-day engaged is you're just going to want to duplicate this segment and change these numbers to 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, or 120-day. So that's going to be the best way to do that. The next thing that we can look at is super engaged. So this one's going to be a little bit different than the 30-day just engaged regular segment. And this is going to be what someone has done. Open email is at least 3 times in the last 30 days, or clicked email at least 3 times in the last 30 days, or active on site at least 3 times in the last 30 days, and can receive email marketing. So that's going to be your super engaged list that you can hit with basically these are going to be your most engaged subscribers, and you can hit them with all sorts of campaigns, from like early. You could test different campaign ideas with these people because they're going to be likely to open and click your email, and then you could send that test to a wider group of people. Uh, but like I said, those are going to be your most engaged there. And so I'm not going to go through like the 60-day or 90-day, 120-day engaged because those are very similar to the 30-day engaged. But what I will do is I'll go through the 60-day engaged SMS really quickly. So again, 60-day engaged SMS. What someone has done, they've clicked SMS at least once in the last 60 days. Or what someone has done active on site at least once in the last 60 days. And if someone can or cannot receive, can receive SMS marketing because person subscribed. So the next thing I want to talk about is our exclude segments. So we have this exclude exclude 120-day unengaged. So I'll show you this segment quickly. So if someone can or cannot receive email marketing, can receive email marketing, what someone has or has not done, person has received at least 6 emails, received emails is at least 6 in the last 120 to 180 days, like I said. And what someone has or has not done, open email is 0 times overall time. And what someone has or has not done, clicked email 0 times overall time. So that's just going to be like a segment you could exclude from certain campaigns if you wanted to basically have it just sent to super engaged people, and kind of boost your deliverability and your results overall from that. The next thing I want to talk about is this exclude 4+ soft bounces and how to set this up. So what you can do here is, again, name it HP 4+ soft bounces or however you want to name it. The definition here is if someone can or cannot receive and can receive email marketing, and what someone has or has not done, bounced email is at least 4 overall time, and what someone has or has not done, open email 0 times in the last 60 days. And so that's another one that you can exclude from campaigns. And then I'll show you this last exclude segment here, which is your spam complainers. And I'm sure I have a couple of more segments that I can show you as well. So the definition here is simple. What someone has or has not done, marked email as spam at least once overall time. So those are people that you just don't want on your list. And you don't want to be receiving campaigns because you want to keep your spam complaint rate super low. So now let's take a look. Let's go. I guess, okay, so now I'm going to finish up talking about the exclude segments really quickly, which it looks like I actually don't have. The only other one you would create is the in welcome flow, which you would basically just create a segment based on the profile property that they had, which was the in welcome flow. But again, I don't have any data behind that just because it's a developer account. But what I will do is I'll talk about these 30-day added to cart or added to checkout or checkout started, sorry. And these are the behavior-based segments that you can set up. So what someone has or has not done, added to cart at least once in the last 30 days, or what someone has done, checkout started at least once in the last 30 days, and someone can receive email marketing because they subscribed. Perfect. And finally, the last one is just kind of this 30-day viewed product that we'll talk about in terms of the behavior-based ones here. So what someone has or has not done, viewed product is at least once in the last 30 days, and someone can receive email marketing because person subscribed. Perfect. Let's see, I think I have a couple more that I can show you here. Yes, perfect. So these are the segments that we talked about earlier that are going to be the triggers in some of your flows. So someone clicks email in last 24 hours. This is going to be the segment that triggers the 1-hour rescue flow, if you remember correctly from before. So I'll show you this right here. So before you can build that flow, you basically need to create this segment. So HP, someone clicks email in last 24 hours. So if someone can or cannot receive email marketing, can receive email marketing, what someone has done, clicked email is at least once in the last 24 hours. Perfect. Okay. And then I'll show you that sunset segment really quickly before we move on. So sunset segment, 150 days unengaged. So you can see here. So if someone can or cannot receive, can receive email marketing, what someone has or has not done, opened email at least once overall time, what someone has or has not done, clicked email at least once overall time, and what someone has or has not done, opened email 0 times in the last 150 days, or what someone has or has not done, clicked email 0 times in the last 150 days. And so, like I said, again, this is going to be that segment that triggers the sunset flow. So you're going to want to make sure that this segment is set up before you go ahead and create that sunset flow, because you can only set the trigger once and you can't go back and reset a trigger. If you mess it up, don't worry, just duplicate the flow and reset the trigger, and you'll be good to go. So we've talked about uh, the tech stack that you're going to need, how to set up the tech stack, the list growth, techniques, flows, campaigns, deliverability, segmentation, and now the last thing we really need to touch on is the strategy here. So when it comes to strategy, the end goal here that you're really going to want to pay attention to is you really want to make sure you're driving 30 to 50% of revenue from your email and SMS, and really your Klaviyo account if you wanted to get really specific. Now, there's certain KPIs or key performance indicators that you can track on a weekly basis that will basically help you improve and get to this point over time. So the first one here is pop-up sign-up rate. So you're going to want to have this between 10 and 15%. And those are really, really, really good numbers. If you can reach 10 to 15%, you're in really good health in terms of your pop-up sign-up rate. Your revenue from campaigns should be around 40 to 60%, with your revenue from flows balancing that out at this the basically the equivalent on the other side, so 40 to 60% as well. And the closer to 50-50 you can get on these two, the healthier it is. So the next thing you're going to want to make sure that you check is your abandoned cart checkout recovery, and that should be around 10 to 20%. So try to get that to 10 to 20%. Your email open rates should be between 45 to 50%, with click rates being 1 to 1.5%. Additionally, your bounce rate should be less than 1%. Your unsubscribe rates should be less than 0.3%, and your spam complaint rates should be less than 0.01%. So we talked about earlier how you want to keep your spam complaint rates, super low. And you can now see just how low you need to keep them. So track those metrics on a weekly basis. Attempt to get to 30 to 50% of revenue from email and SMS, and you'll be good to go. I would say anything above 50% just kind of shows that you're not doing enough on the acquisition side, and you're doing like super well on the retention side. So if you have above a 50%, it's likely that you need to ramp up your ads or any other acquisition method that you're using. And then anything below 30% just kind of shows that you're not doing enough on your retention revenue, and you need to kind of ramp that up as well. So what are the highest leverage tasks in order if you had to kind of break some stuff down? Well, the first thing is your pop-up. Your pop-up is going to be your highest leverage task by far. And to really put this into perspective, every single subscriber that you get onto your email list is going to be worth up to $50 in LTV, lifetime value. And so if you think about that, each email that you get from somebody, you could be getting 100 emails per day for your e-commerce store. Each one of those emails could be worth $50 over time. The number really is like $10 to $50 LTV, depending on your AOV, the amount of SKUs that you have in your store, and things like that. But that is why the highest leverage thing that you can do is just have a consistent list growth funnel of new emails coming into your store, going through your welcome series, getting your campaigns, and yeah. So make sure, if you had to do one thing in order, starting with the pop-up would be the best place to start. After that, the next biggest thing would basically be setting up your core flows. Now, what would your core flows be if you had to set up email flows and you didn't want to go crazy and you just had like 30, let's say you just had like one day and you had to set up the email flows that you needed? I would go with the welcome flow, the abandoned cart, the abandoned checkout, If you really wanted to get fancy, you could throw browse and site abandonment in there. I would also put a post-purchase nurture and maybe a purchase win-back on. And so those aren't that many flows. Like I said, I showed you around 14, 15 flows in this that you could set up. But if you really had to get and go down to like the core basics, it's your welcome flow is going to be the most important flow, followed that by the abandoned checkout, followed that by the abandoned cart, following that the browse abandonment, site abandonment, and your post-purchase nurture is going to be very important as well for upsell, cross-sell, and things like that. After that, the third thing would just be to be sending consistent campaigns. And so that is kind of your 3 to 4 email campaigns per week, 1 to 2 SMS campaigns per week, um, driving that campaign revenue. So moving on here, uh, you really can do all of these 3 things right here, but it would not matter if you didn't have the foundation set up and in place. And that foundation really comes down to 1, deliverability, and 2, segmentation. And so you can have all the core flow sending in the world that you want, but if they're not reaching the inbox, then it doesn't matter at all. And so deliverability really is the foundation of this entire email marketing house here. And segmentation, like I said, is another one of those critical foundational aspects of this strategy as well, because you can't expect to send to your entire list and not see a drop off in engagement, a drop off in subscribers. So having those engagement based segments is going to be really crucial, um, and definitely a foundational aspect of this entire strategy here. So when it comes to actually planning your uh, campaign calendar ideas, we like to use this view method here. So we use a rolling campaign calendar is what we call it, and we have these different views here. So the first view is your astronaut view. This is your super high level view. The next one is your plane view, getting a little bit closer to ground, bird's eye view, street level street view, and then also microscope view. So what does this look like from an actual execution standpoint? So the first thing you're gonna want to do from an astronaut's point of view, right, is you're gonna want to take a calendar, a year-long calendar. You're gonna want to look at the 4 quarters of the year, and you're gonna want to break down what are the key sales events and promotions that we really want to target in these quarters. So write down 3. Try to write down 3 per quarter, and then you'll have a couple of ideas there already. And then what you can do is you can go on a month by month basis. You can say, okay, I have I have my quarterly sales that I want to do. What do I want to do on a month by month basis? What products can I launch? What sales can I run? Things like that. So you're gonna have by the end of this, you're gonna have and again for the month by month one, I would maybe stick to 1 to 2 um, ideas per month, and so you're not overwhelming yourself with a bunch of work. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And what you can do then is you can take a sale and you can break that up into multiple campaigns. You could have a teaser campaign for the sale. You could run the actual sale, and you could do a follow up, and then you could also do like a closeout email. So that's 4 emails for the month already. Um, and so you can really break those up into many, many, many different emails and SMS campaigns and everything like that. But what can you do to actually fill in the other 10 to 12 emails for the month? Well, what you can do, and what I like to do, is just take a bunch of these small ideas that you have, even if it's like one thing on your website, like an FAQ or something like that. You could create an entire email around just a specific FAQ. So it's really taking a look at your website and going through finding small ideas, even if it's one benefit or one feature. You could create an entire email around one benefit, one feature. You could also create testimonial emails campaigns. There's a ton of email ideas you can use, but it's really just filling in the blanks with these small ideas. It can be product spotlights, collection spotlights, things like that. And the key here is really to drive that 70% value, 30% sales, especially with your emails. And then, like I said, with the SMS, you want to do 100% sales. But it's really taking the big sales, events for the quarter, the big sales events for the month, and then filling in the blanks and filling in the details. So you're sending 12 to 16 campaigns, email campaigns per month, and like 4 to 6 SMS campaigns per month. And that's going to be a really, really healthy way to run your marketing calendar. And then you have your street level view, which is basically actually creating the actual email inside of Klaviyo, designing it, writing the copy, things like that. And then you have your microscope view, which is your optimization. So you could do all of this stuff, and you could basically just keep doing it and never really look at the data, or you could look at the data, continually get better, continually improve upon yourself, and run a better and better and more profitable email program as you go. So the next thing that we're going to want to look at is project management. So project and time management, actually, these kind of go together into one here. So with a good project management system, you can really run this system on autopilot. You can almost let the system run itself through things like delegation to, VAs or your employees or anything like that, through automation, using Zapier or using, ChatGPT for copy and strategy. But when it comes to project management, you really want to just make sure that you have tasks, and for each task you have SOPs or standard operating procedures. You really want to make sure you have a clear owner for each task, and you want to make sure you have accountability. And so those are things like due dates. Maybe that's a daily check-in call, maybe it's automated Slack reminders. But if you really follow these three things, having SOPs, tasks, and accountability, you're going to have a system, an email marketing system that you can really run on autopilot. And like I said, with the templates and everything that we have, you can run this program in like 2 hours per week. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. And then also when it comes to time management, as a founder, you have a lot going on. You may not see the benefit in, doing these low level tasks, like maybe you don't see the benefit of your time in testing a subject line. So what you can do is you can delegate that to a VA, you can delegate that to an employee, anything like that. But what's really going to work, and what works for me, is time blocking, taking time out of your calendar on a weekly recurring basis to get what you need to get done weekly. And so maybe that's 3 hours on Monday where you dedicate to just spending time on, building out your email marketing program for the week. And then as you go along, you'll find you'll find areas where you can automate, where you can use Zapier, where you can delegate, and you'll get more and more efficient over time. So that was the HighCamp Peak Retention System. And, we covered a lot. We covered everything from the tech stack, how to set up the tech stack. We covered list growth. We covered the automated flows that you're going to need. We covered the campaigns, the deliverability, the segmentation, and finally we covered the strategy as well. Now, if you want, I'm not sure how long I'm going to do this, but if you want, right now in the description, I'm going to have a link where you can apply, and I'll actually install all of this into your Klaviyo account for free. So if it's still there and if it's still available, I'm not sure how long I'll do this, like I said. Go down there, apply, and if you qualify, I will actually personally go ahead and I'll install all of these flows, all of these campaign templates, all the ChatGPT prompts, the pop-up templates, and the segments into your Klaviyo account for free. And so go down, check out the link in bio, see if it's still there, and if so, grab your free install here. But other than that, thank you for joining me, and we'll keep pumping out this content. But feel free to hit that subscribe button, like the video, and we'll see you in the next video.